We are live now, so we are good to go.
All right, sir. Thank you. Good morning and a warm welcome to all of you in the one-year integrated batch 2020 of the Unique Academy. I hope everyone has watched the webinars which were there since a week now. There have been around 10 webinars conducted by the Unique Academy. So I hope that all of you have really listened carefully those webinars because we have dealt with all the salient aspects of UPSC examination. In this lecture, I'm not going to repeat all those things. So those of you who haven't seen those webinars, I would still request to go through those webinars. Let us not waste time in the batch as far as the basics of the examination are concerned. We have talked about all the basics in the webinars, whether it is preliminary examination or mains examination, how to prepare ourselves, strategies, different aspects, sources for this examination, how to begin, whether to read NCERT first, what is to be done next. Most of those things have been covered, so let us not waste time on that. However, before I take up my core agenda of this lecture, I would still talk about two things. One, regarding this batch. Second, I will also talk about strategy a little bit so that all of you understand what you are supposed to do in upcoming 1 2 years. All right, so let us begin with the information regarding this batch. See, let me tell you one thing very clearly. This is a 1 year batch which spans over almost 1 year. Our intention is to cover the topics of mains first, and after that we'll take up the topics of prelims. So roughly, approximately, we'll finish off the mains topics by December of this year, and then we'll take up the topics of preliminary examination. So that is the plan as far as batch is concerned. For every subject, you will have a different faculty, and each faculty will give you approximate estimate of lectures. Also, what all things we are going to cover in the lectures, that would be also made very clear by each faculty. All right. As part of this batch, a number of activities are planned. Classroom discussion is the most basic activity that we do. In the classroom discussion, lecture would be delivered. That is one part. Other, you are allowed to ask questions, and there would be open discussion on any topic. All your queries would be answered. Apart from classroom lectures, we are planning the writing sessions as well, right from the beginning. So as we complete a topic or a section, for example, from the syllabus, what we do, you will be provided with the study material, and immediately there will be at least a couple of questions which would be given to you as an assignment. You are supposed to write those answers. You'll be provided with model answers. You can check your answers with the model answers, and you can discuss with the respective faculty regarding any kind of doubt of regarding your answer or the model answer. So these are the basic activities. Apart from this, we have planned your interactions with our toppers as and when we get their time, because all our toppers are, they're working for the government, and right now everybody knows that they are working day and night to fight with this pandemic called COVID-19. So as and when they get time, we will organize interactive sessions with all of you. So that is an important part of the activity, because it will serve multiple purposes. How you are supposed to study, how you are supposed to go about your planning, how you are supposed to strategize. Apart from what we discuss, you can take it from the toppers as well. And in the entire process of 1 year, as far as this batch is concerned, uh, uh, the classroom discussions, your interactions with the teachers, your interactions with the toppers, and different other activities we do in the classroom will also shape your personalities, uh, which is an important part again. So the preparation for interview, please understand this. You will get a dedicated session for this. Absolutely no doubt about it. How to prepare for the interviews and all that technical details. But let me tell you one thing. You cannot think about preparing for an interview 1 month, 2 month prior. Personality cannot be forged. Personality cannot be shaped in a period of 2 or 3 months. So throughout this year, the entire discussion that happens in the classroom should also go into shaping your personality. So please understand this. While we are discussing something in the classroom, that should also become part of your personality. That is where you develop that personality which is suitable for the administration. Why I'm saying this? Because most of the discussion in the classroom, will keep in close framework, will be in close framework of the syllabus, and the teaching as per the syllabus and discussions within the framework of syllabus will make you understand how to opine on a particular subject, how to discuss a particular subject, how to understand different dimensions of a particular subject. So what I'm trying to say is the activities planned throughout the year as far as this batch is concerned also takes care of your personality development as far as administrative job is concerned. So don't worry about it. We also organize sessions by certain uh, uh, high placed people, maybe IFS and IAS who are very experienced, who also have experience of interviewing the candidates of UPSC who are retired. So you'll get sessions with those people as well. So number of activities are planned. If you ask me, the most important among them are classroom discussions, number one, and your answer writing sessions. So you're supposed to focus on that more than anything else. All right, okay. So this is about batch briefly, very briefly. You will get to know about the batch from each and every faculty regarding their own subject. So not to worry about that. As I said in the beginning, each faculty will let you know how many lectures will be conducted, what topics will be covered, and their own planning in terms of the entire curriculum. Apart from the batch, let me quickly talk about the strategies. I know everybody is looking forward to the strategy for this examination, and I know I'm addressing a very diverse crowd as of now. There might be people who want to really appear for the next year. There might be people who are planning for 2022, 2023, 2025, whatever. But I would give you a basic outline of the strategy. Uh, uh, Within that, I would say I would only talk about the two strategies, and third one would be a very long-term kind of a strategy. The first strategy is the strategy for 2021. That is next year. Those who are really looking forward to appearing for this examination in the next year, for them, what should be the strategy? Briefly, we'll talk about it. You know, uh, right in the beginning, I would say that those who have had some kind of a study, they should think of appearing for the next year, because the timeline is pretty aggressive. Generally we say that a study, a dedicated study, I would say a dedicated study of 1.5 years is what is required for this examination. All right. So we are left with hardly 1 year if we are really thinking about 2021. So within that 1 year, what would be your target? That would be pretty aggressive. So one has to really think twice. What we suggest is by the month of December, uh, that is what we have planned in the batch as well. By the month of December, our study of mains examination must be complete. That is one part. And once that is complete, we must immediately begin with the study of preliminary examination as far as plan strategy for 2021 is concerned. All right, I'm repeating this. Till December 2020, you are supposed to finish off your main study. After that, from January 2021, you are supposed to start with your preliminary examination preparation. Let us talk about what do we really understand by mains preparation. What all things are expected within that as well. So based on which you can devise your own micro planning. I'm giving you a macro plan, and you are supposed to devise your own micro planning. So in the upcoming 6 to 7 months till December, what you're supposed to do is you should complete your NCERT reading once, twice. Then you should start reading the reference books, complete one reading of reference books, all the reference books, read voraciously, forget the entire world as if you're there to read only. That's it. So that should be your mode initially. Complete first reading of all the books. All right. Once that is done, the time frame depends on you. Your speed of reading, your speed of understanding. That's why I said a customized micro plan is something that you are supposed to do. So once you finish first reading of all the books of all subjects, what you're supposed to do is sit down and start reading one topic at a time. Take up one topic only, read that topic. For a particular topic in the syllabus, you may find a corresponding chapter in NCERT, a corresponding chapter in reference book number 1, a corresponding chapter in reference book number 2, and you may get a class note as well. So there are multiple sources. What you're supposed to do, I'll tell you. Right at the beginning, decide that a particular book is going to be your standard reference book, and you can do that by consulting your respective faculty member. So pick one book as a standard reference book, keep all other sources aside. So read that topic, or the corresponding chapter from that book once, twice. Only one book, I'm saying. Prepare a micro note based on those couple of readings. While you read twice in one single sitting, underline important things. Underline important things. All right. In the first reading, you may find everything important. That's why if you try to prepare notes after first reading, that is going to be disaster, because you will end up writing everything. You will end up writing the entire book virtually. So that's why we suggest that after third reading, but third reading does not mean that you're supposed to read the book thrice completely. No. First reading, complete book. Second reading, take the topic, read it, underline. Third reading, in the same sitting, third reading, you'll take lesser time this time. Highlight the important points and only highlighted part in the phrase form. Do not use those different wordings. Just core point, take it out in your micro note. Write that. So this is how you're supposed to prepare the micro note. So if you take up topic one, all right, and there will be subtopics. Say for example, introduction. All right. So give the heading of the topic, introduction. Take out the points of introduction, then leave some space, leave some sizable space of the note. All right, and then take up the next topic. Why the space is to be left, I will talk about it, don't worry. So generally, what you're supposed to do as far as note making is concerned, if you have a A4 size paper, on the right hand side, leave 1/3 of the space, leave 1/3 of the space, and in remaining 2/3 space of the A4 size, you will write your note, heading, subheading, your points from one single book. Leave enough space for further additions later on. Go for the next subheading. That is how you're supposed to complete note from only one book. All right. Once that is done, in the same sitting again, refer to other books, because you have read that topic for twice, thrice, two times, three times. That's why in the next book, reference book number 2 maybe, you will see that most of the points are similar. And because you have read that topic 3 times at least, you can easily make out if there is any new point in the other book. And the moment you find that new point, add to your micro note. All right. This process is to be repeated for reference book number 2, for class notes, and even NCERT. So what happens effectively at the end of this exercise? You will have one single note from all these sources that will remove your confusion. Please understand. Generally, what students do is they take up all the books at once, they keep those books in front of them, and they try to make note from all the books simultaneously. That is something which is highly confusing, and you will end up doing nothing. You'll be completely confused. So what I would say is, prepare a micro note from one single book that you considered as a standard book, with consultation with your respective faculty members. The other books, reference book number 2, then class note or whatever, you're supposed to do that only in terms of adding new points that you find. That's it. So we need to understand that the note has to be a single micro note. All right, from all the sources, you must not get confused by taking all the sources simultaneously. So having clarified how to make notes for the mains examination, or a topic wise breakup of the syllabus in different small topics would be done by the faculty members for you. All right, don't worry about that. So topic wise note making has to be completed by December. While you do this, there is another important component. The moment you take up a topic, prepare a micronote the way I explained. Then take up couple of questions, only couple of one question maybe on that topic, and write an answer by looking at your note and the books. So the first part of your answer writing would always be open book test, because it is virtually impossible to remember everything right in the beginning. All right. So open book test is something that you are supposed to do as far as the first session of answer writing is concerned. Get that answer evaluated by comparing that with the model answer, something that we are going to do as part of the batch. Don't worry about it. So that is the first part of the preparation. As you go on finishing topics, the way I described, one topic, one standard reference book, micro note, living space, and then again next reference book, addition of points. So one topic is complete. What you can do after that is once you complete a section maybe of the syllabus, go for sectional test. Sectional test. Take the questions of a section, write the answers, and get it evaluated by the faculty member. Once you complete a paper, say for example GS paper 1, you completed only history part. That means history ka sectional test. In paper 1, only geography part is completed. take a sectional test on geography. Likewise, once you complete all three components of paper one, history, geography, and sociology, then you can go for a comprehensive test as far as GS paper one is concerned. So that is how you can plan. All right. So this is what you're supposed to do as far as mains preparation is concerned. All right. Okay. Now, having talked about all these things, mains preparation, there is one part which was missing in this entire discussion, or rather, I deliberately kept it aside. That is current affairs. All right. If you're planning for 2021, you have to start reading current affairs immediately. That is a little bit cumbersome, little bit difficult, because you are supposed to read reference books, you are supposed to read NCRT, you're supposed to read the newspaper as well. That's why generally we advise that give 1.5 year before you fill up the form, right? So those of who are really looking forward to examination in 2021, they have to start reading current affairs as well. I talked about the micronote A4 size. 1/3 part is to be left blank. That is where any kind of current affairs related to the topic when you see in the newspaper is to be added. So 1/3 part for the current affairs or any additional point you find in future anywhere. So that would be one single note for your mains as well as preliminary examination. So let us not prepare multiple notes and confuse ourselves one day prior to the examination. एग्जाम के एक दिन पहले खुद को कंफ्यूज नहीं करना है. One single note of all the sources. You know, you talk with anybody. One advice that you get is to reduce the number of sources as you approach the examination. So everybody says this, but rarely anybody talks about how to reduce it. So that is precisely what I talked about. From different sources, how you can really narrow down to your one single source, which is called micronote. Now, having prepared the micronote, the job is not yet complete. All right. So once you prepare the micronote, you're supposed to revise that. And maybe 8 days down the line, 15 days down the line, 1 month down the line, 6 months down the line, when you revise your micronote, it is quite possible that because you're taken out only the phrases, you may feel like going back to the book again. I would say that with a lot of patience, do it. Read micronote. If it is not making sense completely, go to the book, read that topic again, come back to the micronote. If you do this once, twice, thrice, maybe after 3 times doing this, you don't need to really look for the book again. That is the stage that we are really need to achieve before we really write examination or mains examination. Okay, having talked about mains examination and the strategy for it, let us talk about preliminary examination. For preliminary examination, you may start with January, because the reason is, while you are reading for the mains, those topics are common. Say history is common, Indian history is common for both prelims and mains. Geography is common. Then polity is common. Then economics is common. Science tech is common. Environment is common. You don't need to really rush for the prelims if you are studying mains till December, because you are reading the topics of prelims as well. Because you have completed the entire mains syllabus, all that is required from 1st January 2021 is to revise what we have done from the prelim perspective. So what is the prelim perspective? In simple, MCQ perspective. If you look at any content, your mind should be so trained that you manufacture MCQ based on that. इसके ऊपर क्या MCQ आ सकता है, इस तरह का जो एक ब्रेन है वो काम करना चाहिए based on what you have done, so that note making activity of mains examination will also help you prepare for the preliminary examination. So what you can do from 1st of January is to revise what you have done and go on adding current affairs, and then rigorously take up the prelim test series. So prelim test series is very, very important. So what you do in test series as far as prelims is concerned, you solve first test series, maybe sectional, all right, maybe comprehensive, whatever. Then don't look at the marks, look at what you have done in the test series, and then look for your mistakes in the test series. Correct them, then only go for the next test series. This is what you can do for those remaining 4 to 5 months. All right. So this is the strategy for 2021. Now, quickly, those of you who are really looking forward to appear this examination in 2022, they have enough time. All right, enough. That doesn't mean that they have all the time in the world. All right. So 2022, from this month up to the May or June in the next year, one solid year, complete focus on mains examination. So you can do comprehensive answer writing session. As I discussed, note making of each topic. All right. And till then, for initial 6 months, you can keep current affairs aside for a while, because 2022 will demand current affairs from maybe January 20 21, January 2021 to May 2022, that should be enough current affairs. So till December, you can fully focus on your mains preparation, that to static part, and then you can add the current part. So that really gives you a comfortable time frame to prepare for this examination. So mains preparation done by uh, uh, maybe June next year, and then you can rigorously take up the answer writing sessions for 2-3 months, dedicated answer writing sessions, and then start your prelim preparation a little bit early, that is in October maybe or November 2021, for the examination which is to be appeared in 2022. That's the rough plan of 2022. Rest of the things are same. मेंस का क्या करना है, प्रीलिम का क्या करना है, मैं पहले बात कर चुका हूं. Those of you who are really thinking of very long term things, I would say you go very slow. Read NCERT twice, thrice, read the books, and the mains activity should continue until you complete the entire syllabus. Then only we shall talk about the next strategy. So those who are looking for a very long term plan, I would suggest them to only follow the main strategy as of now. All right, okay. Having talked about the batch, having talked about the strategy briefly, which will happen again, don't worry about that. You can contact the faculty members and talk to them personally about your micro plans, not to worry about it. Let us come to the core agenda of this session. In this year of this 1 year batch, I am going to teach Indian history. Let us be very clear about it. So I'll be teaching Indian history, and Jawad Kaji sir would be teaching world history. In GS paper 1, we have the syllabus of history. I think everybody knows that. I'm talking about mains. So if you're talking about prelim, there is one line syllabus. All right, there's one line syllabus. I'm sharing my screen. Okay. So there's one line syllabus of prelim, that is history of India and Indian national movement. All right. So we'll talk about both. Don't worry. In today's lecture, we'll talk about both prelim as well as mains. But the lecture would be so designed which will take care of both the aspects, preliminary and mains examination. As I said, the study cannot be divided into 2 parts. So the lectures should not be divided into 2 parts. Prelim orientation would be also given, and mains orientation would be also given. For example, if we are discussing revolt of 57, we'll talk about both the aspects: the analytical aspect, which generally is the subject matter of mains, and that factual aspect or MCQ aspect, which is also analytical sometimes, as far as prelims is concerned. So once we take up a topic, we'll cover both. Don't worry about it. Okay. So history of India is something that I would be teaching. All right. And Jawad Kaji sir would be teaching the world history. Let us talk about the agenda of today's lecture first. So that is there in front of you on the screen. What all things we are going to talk about today, topic by topic. So see, before we talk about anything else, we should first understand what this subject is all about. So the first topic would be what is history, and what do we need to study in the subject called history. These 2 questions are different. All right. So what is history and what do we need to study in the history? Number 2, what is Indian history? That is our subject. All right. What is Indian history? We'll talk about that as well. What all things are there? Number 3, we'll talk about the UPSC syllabus for history. Please understand this. Once we covered first 2 topics, then we are in a position to really understand the syllabus. Till then, probably we don't have that much of understanding of the subject which will enable to understand the syllabus of UPSC. So UPSC syllabus in detail, we will discuss that. Then we'll discuss some of the sample questions from Indian history, as far as Indian history is concerned. Sample questions from preliminary examination, as well as sample questions from mains examination. All right. Having done that, I will also talk about question paper analysis. Don't worry. As part of the sample questions, I will talk about how to analyze previous year question papers. All right. Then we'll talk about how to study Indian history. That is the most important part. How to study Indian history, what parts to be focused, what approach to be adopted. That is what we'll discuss. Then we'll talk about the sources for the study of Indian history. Sources for the study of Indian history. Having talked about all these points, and as the last part of this session, I will let you know regarding my own subject, what all things we are going to do in the coming 1 year. The entire plan would be in front of you. Okay, let us begin now with the first content. What is that? what is history. All right, so let us try and understand what is history. you know uh, History is a subject of humanities. Hmm? Subjects are divided into two parts: natural sciences and social sciences, or humanities. This is part of humanities. All right, so the moment you talk about the subjects of humanity, or you say social sciences, there is inherent subjectivity in that. That's why the question what is history would come up with a lot of answers, and all the answers could be right at once, and all the answers could have limitations at once. That's why I have picked up some select definitions for you, as far as the understanding of the subject history is concerned. Just look at that. Professor Heine says that history is memories of societies. That's pretty simple, right? History of any society is nothing but the memories of that society. So somewhere he's referring to the past. All right. Thomas Carlyle says that world history is a biography of great men. So he makes it a little bit narrow and says that world history is all about the biography of great men. Probably Carlyle thinks that great men really influence society. They have great impact on the society. E.H. Carr says that history is a dialogue between the present and the past. Now, this is altogether a different kind of interpretation again. So that means how we really communicate with our past, how we really have a dialogue with the past. So dialogue of the present with the past, that is what E.H. Carr says. All these definitions, that is my personal opinion, all these definitions make it more vague rather in terms of UPSC syllabus. What UPSC demands is the exactness, is something that will enable you to get grip over the subject. All right, so all these definitions are good academically. Academically speaking, all these definitions are good. All these definitions may find some more salience as far as history optional is concerned, but from the GS perspective, where UPSC notification clearly says that preparation of any subject does not require specialization in that subject, so a general study, what we call. So from that perspective, the understanding of history has to be a little bit different, and that understanding will help you understand the syllabus. How? I will talk about it. So these are the definitions that you are not supposed to remember as such, because UPSC would never ask this. We are doing all this just to understand the syllabus. Now let us look at how we really understand history in simplest possible way, right? So one thing that comes out generally as far as this question is concerned, what is history? In common parlance, in general, people say that history is past. All right, but is it? The real question is it? If history is past, then there is another question: what is prehistory? Is there something called pre-past? No. So if history is past, what is prehistory? That is next question. That means the first answer that we generally give, history is past, is only partially correct. All right, so we need to really understand history properly. So what is prehistory? Then there is another question to confuse you more: what is proto-history? There are three terms, dear all. There is a term called history, there's a term called prehistory, there's a term called proto-history. I hope everybody understand the term proto. Proto means what? Like. Prototype bolte hai na, model us tarah se. So like something. So it's something called like history, something called prehistory, and something called history. So these are the questions that come in front of us the moment we talk about history. All right in the beginning. So let's answer all of these questions quickly. That will give you the real understanding of what is history. So the answers are there in front of your screen. So first question is, what is history? Is it past? No. History is precisely recorded past. And those records could be both written or oral. All right. So either written records or the oral records, if those records are available from a particular period in the history, that period can be included as historical period. Please understand this. Okay. So that can be understood as historical period. All right. Now, what is prehistory? If we have understood history, let us look at what is prehistory. Any period that goes beyond recorded past, from which records are not available, that is called prehistory. Let me explain a bit. When we talk about the records, whether a period is recorded or not, today historians have almost written on all the periods. That's why we are not talking about today's records. We are talking about records from the period in question, say for example Stone Age, do we have written records from the Stone Age? If the answer is no, that goes into prehistory. So let's be very clear about it. From Stone Age, we don't have any kind of written or oral records. That's why we consider Stone Age to be part of prehistory and not the part of historical period. All right. History as a subject covers all three: prehistory, proto-history, and history. However, when we say historical period, what it precisely means is that period from where records are available, as simple as that. Okay. So recorded past is the history. All right. Anything goes beyond that is prehistory. Then third question, proto-history. What is it? A period from which records are available. We do have records, but somehow we are not able to derive any kind of meaning from it. Are you getting this? Records are available, but they make no sense. That period is called proto-history. So three things very clearly. One, what is history? Recorded past. Records could be oral or written. Number two, anything going beyond recorded past from where records are not available, that is prehistory. Any period from which records are available, but we are not able to read them, we are not able to get any kind of meaning out of them, that is called proto-history. So these three concepts we must keep in mind. All right. Now, we talked about what is history. We tried to establish a relationship of history with the past, but still more clarification is required as far as history and past is concerned. Let us really look at that. Okay. So as last part of this slide, you can see the relation between history and past. All right. What is history again? History for us, history for historians is something that we discussed. History for us, UPSC aspirants, is nothing but the bodies of knowledge about the past produced by the historians. Please pay attention. The bodies of knowledge about the past produced by the historians. Let's be very clear about it. So what we are supposed to read is the body of knowledge produced by the historians regarding our past. All right. Okay. Now, as far as bodies of knowledge is concerned, that is from the historians only. That is what UPSC expects us. So novels, dramas, plays, all these things cannot be source of history for all of us. Let's be very clear about it. So what is required is a body of knowledge or a content created by the historians. Okay. I see some people raising hands, Trupti or anybody. If you have doubt, and that's why if you're raising hand in the middle, I would suggest you to post your questions in the chat box. All right, that is provided here, and then I will take up your questions, because if I take up the questions in the middle, probably the flow would be interrupted and others would also be disturbed a bit. So let's be very clear about it. Let us discuss the entire topic first, and then I will take up your questions. And do not keep your questions in your mind. You may forget at the end of the session. The moment a question comes to your head, comes to your mind, immediately type that in the chat box. I will take it up. Don't worry about it. Okay. So I was talking about history and past. History is something that is to be learned from the historians. It is a body of knowledge created by historians. Then what is the past? Past is a little bit different. Past is everything which actually happened, whether known or written about by historians or not. पास्ट में सब कुछ आ सकता है. All right, छोटी छोटी चीजें. ठीक है. A person somewhere got married. So anybody XYZ in society, that cannot become part of you can say history, but it has happened in the past. So point is, past is very very vague. Past is very large kind of a body of events. So we only pick those events which had impact on the larger picture of society as far as historians are concerned. That's why let's be very clear about it. History is nothing but body of knowledge somehow produced by the historians regarding our past. Okay, having talked about what is history, now the more pertinent question, जैसे हम आगे जाएंगे सेशन में, तो it will become more and more relevant, because मुझे ना तुम्हारा कंफ्यूजन दूर करना है और तुमको उस पॉइंट पे लाना है जहां पे पूरा फोकस चाहिए. Now having talked about what is history, now is the time to talk about what do we need to study in history. What exactly do we need to study in history? बहुत सारे लोगों का एक थोड़ा सा एक मिसकंसेप्शन होता है. History means what? A list of events as per the years, as per the dates. So one has to really scramble for remembering by hearting the historical events and by hearting the years and the dates. For your information, I would suggest you to go through previous year question papers, something that I'm going to do a bit here at some stage of this lecture. Once you do that previous year question paper analysis, you will understand that uh, uh, hardly any questions are asked on the date, hardly any questions are asked on the year. Number one, most of the questions are based on chronology, and if you understand the logic of history, it is easier to remember chronology. Without understanding the logic of history, what is left to you is cramming of the facts, which is really difficult, I understand. But logical flow of history, once you understand that, probably that gives you some kind of ease with which you can remember the events of history. Please understand this. As far as history is concerned, the questions are analytical in mains, and even in prelims the questions are analytical. Some of the questions are on chronology, which are lesser in number. Okay, and even if UPSC asks you an year, you can choose from the different options based on the logic you can apply in terms of the evolution of history, something that we'll do in this series of lectures. Don't worry about it. Okay, now coming back to the question of this slide, what do we need to study in history? It's not just about events. In a particular period, what all things we are supposed to study? Look at that. Any period has got political aspect, social aspect, economic aspect, and cultural aspect. Now let us talk about each of them. Suppose, for example, we are talking about Maurya period. So we talk about political aspect of Maurya period, we talk about social aspect of Maurya period, we talk about economic aspect of Maurya period, we talk about cultural aspect of Maurya period. Suppose we are talking about Lord Cornwallis, we talk about his political aspect, we talk about not his actually, Indian society's social aspect at that time, we talk about the economic aspect of his policies, and we talk about some cultural aspects as well. So any given period, these four aspects are to be talked about. It is not that you may get all the four aspects. All right, for example, Stone Age, we don't have any kind of political aspect because we don't know. Historians really don't know about what kind of political aspect was there because we don't have any kind of records. So all the four aspects may be present, may not be present, but those aspects which are present are to be studied in detail. Okay, now what all things do we study in these different aspects of history? If you pick political aspect, you are supposed to understand briefly nature and type of the polity. So in ancient and medieval times, as we say, that the type of polity was monarchy. What was the type of polity? Monarchy. Okay, within that monarchy, what was the nature? Maybe during Maurya Empire, it was centralized polity. During Chol and Gupta Empire, it was decentralized polity. Understand this, huh? हो सकता है कि तुमको सारी चीजें एक साथ क्लिक ना हो, लेकिन ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम यू विल लर्न दिस, डोंट वरी. मैं चोल पीरियड बोल रहा हूँ, मैं गुप्त पीरियड बोल रहा हूँ, तुमको थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूज होना क्वाइट earlier on quite natural, but don't worry, over a period of time you will learn all these things. Then administration, as I said, decentralized administration, centralized administration, different administrative positions, different departments in the administration. क्योंकि इसके ऊपर सवाल आ चुके हैं. महात्ता राज, where a official at the village level, as far as early medieval is concerned, उसके ऊपर prelim में सवाल आ चुका है. So little bit of administration, but when it comes to modern period, you need to learn administration in detail, because different administrative acts passed by the British government in India is part of our syllabus. Then important political events of different periods. Swadeshi movement happens to be an important political event. Are you getting this? So what is to be studied in political aspect is okay. Then social aspect. I'm repeating this. Probably somebody muted me. Uh, Social aspect. Let us talk about social aspect. What is there in social aspect? Nature and structure of society. What do we understand by nature? Nature of society means what type of society we have. Is it egalitarian? Is there stratification in society? Is there some kind of higher status and lower status kind of a thing in society? So what kind of nature? Is there gender equality? This is what we study. In structure, what is the structural makeup of society? That means, is there a diverse society or a homogeneous society? Is there racial diversity? Is there religious diversity? Is there cultural diversity? Is there linguistic diversity? So different aspects of society would constitute the structure of society. So structure and nature. And one important part while we study any particular period in the history, far as societal aspect of the period is concerned, is the position of women. What is the position of women? That is another important aspect of social understanding of the history. The third aspect is economic aspect. Again, in the economic aspect, what all things do we really study? Type of the economy at that time, major occupations, commerce, and currency, for example. Okay, let us try and understand this. When we say type of economy, what do we understand by that? Economy could be pastoral economy or nomadic economy. A phase of economy where people are wandering from one place to other place. That is called nomadic economy. All right. Next, agricultural economy. All right. Then mercantile economy, industrial economy. What type of economy was it? That is one. Then major occupations. What is the major Stone Age? Hunting gathering is the major occupation. Later on, agriculture is the major occupation. Then trading becomes major occupation. So different types of occupations we are supposed to really talk about. That gives us understanding of the living of people at that time. All right, their livelihoods, their in general standard of living, etc. Then trade and commerce is very important, because India had trading relations within Indian subcontinent as well as with the world. That's why we need to understand that important aspect as well, trade and commerce. Okay, then currency, because currency happens to be an important evidence of history. That is called numismatic evidence. Right, numismatic evidence. Coins tell a lot of things about a particular period in the history. That's why we need to understand the currency as well. Okay, so these are different economic aspects that we study in history. All right, then the last part, which is important from the perspective of UPSC, because UPSC has explicitly talked about this, that is Indian culture. Indian culture. But again, what we understand by culture in common parlance is not something that we are supposed to do here. We need to understand culture the way UPSC has outlined it. In the first line of syllabus itself, UPSC clearly says this. What we are supposed to study as far as culture is concerned is art forms. What are art forms? Painting, sculpture, then music, dance, etc. Architecture is again an important art form, but there are a number of structures in India. That's why architecture is taken out differently. Then the development of different languages in India, North Indian languages and South Indian languages. Before that, Sanskrit, Prakrit, Upper Brahms, different languages, and literature available in different languages. So this forms the cultural aspect as far as Indian history is concerned. Now, an important part of cultural aspect is also religion, because religion has a close link with the culture. That's why UPSC has asked questions on Buddhism many times, isn't it? UPSC may ask questions on Vedic literature, that is the literature of Hindu religion. UPSC may ask questions on Jainism, maybe Islam, Sikhism. These are all important religions in the history of India, and they had a certain impact on the different cultural manifestations as far as Indian history is concerned. All right, okay. So this is what we are supposed to study. Okay. अब ये बात अलग है कि what we are supposed to study in ancient history, what we are supposed to study in medieval history, what we are supposed to study in modern history. वो मैं अलग से बात करने वाला हूँ. Don't worry about it, because we can talk about what to study in different parts of history of India, it is ancient, medieval, modern, only when we go through the syllabus. All right. Now, having talked about history in general, let us talk about Indian history, which is our subject. I hope you are able to see on the screen. Indian history begins with Vedic age. Now, please understand. As far as Indian history is concerned, you may find different historians having different opinions. But in general, which is the most accepted thing, is that Indian history begins with Vedic age. Why are we saying so? Do we have any kind of special liking for the Vedic age? Not really. We say it begins with Vedic age because earliest records which convey a meaning to us are from Vedic age. So earliest records in India are found from Vedic age in an oral tradition. Oral tradition में Vedic literature हम तक आता है, as simple as that. That's why Indian history begins with Vedic age. Okay, now, so we answered the question, what is India's history? Starts from Vedic age or other historical period. Okay. Then the question is, Vedic age ke pehle, before Vedic age, there was Harappan civilization. All right. So where do we place it then? Okay. Harappan civilization was a wonderful civilization. We know that very well. So Harappan civilization is called proto-history of India. Why? Because records from Harappan civilization are discovered in the excavation, no doubt about it. But we are not yet able to decipher their script. Harappan script is not deciphered yet. Lot of technologies are used as far as decipherment of the script is concerned. Deciphering the script means what? Deriving the meaning of the script, decoding the script. Okay, that has not happened yet. That is why Indus Valley civilization or the Harappan civilization is considered as proto-history. Okay, okay. Now, as simple as that, anything that goes beyond Harappan civilization is prehistory, isn't it? Because earliest records which convey a definite meaning is from Vedic age. Harappan civilization is before that, which is the proto-history of India, and anything going beyond Harappan civilization is the prehistory. And prehistory of India consists of various stages of the Stone Age, various phases or stages of the Stone Age. So this is in brief as far as the beginning of Indian history is concerned. And this, from this point, it comes up to our present lives. Why I'm saying present lives? UPSC has mentioned that explicitly in the syllabus. I will talk about it, don't worry. So Indian history, as far as the syllabus of Indian history is concerned, it has to begin with uh, uh, for all practical purposes, Harappan civilization. However, though UPSC says that you are supposed to study history of India, they haven't explicitly mentioned prehistory, but questions have appeared on prehistory. For example, there was a question on megalithic rock cut architecture. There was a question on megalithic painting in the mains examination. That's why, Mesolithic. What is Mesolithic? Middle Stone Age. That means a question came from prehistory. That's why we need to understand that uh, uh, as far as UPSC is concerned, we need to learn a little bit of prehistory as well. Okay, I'm sorry. Having understood where exactly Indian history begins, let me tell you very clearly here. Maybe theoretically Indian history becomes with starts with begins with Vedic age. We have to include Harappan civilization as well, because there have been questions on Harappan civilization. Plus, there have been questions on prehistory as well. So our approach would be studying prehistory uh, only in terms of what type of questions are asked, studying Harappan civilization in terms of what type of questions are asked, and from Vedic age onwards, different aspects that we discussed a short while ago are to be discussed, are to be studied as part of our entire study of this part of UPSC syllabus. Okay. So this is about Indian history. So we began with what is history. We understood what to study in history. We discussed what is Indian history. Now we are in a position to understand the syllabus of UPSC as far as this subject is concerned. Prelim syllabus. Okay. The syllabus for preliminary examination. There is only one short phrase. I wouldn't say line. One short phrase. What is that? History of India and Indian national movement. Look at it. The interesting part is they say history of India, and the moment we say history of India, that should cover even the Indian national movement. What is the purpose of UPSC to explicitly mention Indian national movement separately? मतलब कैसे लिखा है देखो उसको, हिस्ट्री ऑफ इंडिया एंड इंडियन नेशनल मूवमेंट. सो लेट अस ट्राई एंड अंडरस्टैंड दिस. इसको अंडरस्टैंड करने की कोशिश करते हैं कि जब ये सिलेबस सामने दिखता है तो इसमें व्हाट ऑल थिंग्स वी आर सपोज्ड टू स्टडी. लुक एट व्हाट इज रिटन बिलो दैट. That gives you the actual breakup of the syllabus as far as preliminary examination is concerned. What all things are there? There is ancient history of India, absolutely no doubt about it. Ancient history of India, focus on the culture. We are supposed to focus on the culture. Medieval history of India, again focus on culture. Okay. See, some people generally perceive it in this way कि ancient और medieval पे ज्यादा सवाल नहीं आते तो क्यों पढ़ना है. If you ask me, this is a cutthroat competition. This is a cutthroat competition. Okay, there could be lesser number of questions in mains as far as ancient and medieval history are concerned, but there are a number of questions in preliminary examination. To give you a simple understanding, in prelim 2019 there were around 9 to 10 questions on ancient and medieval history. If I'm not wrong, there were 4 questions on ancient history and 6 questions on medieval history. Out of 100 questions, 10 questions is also an important chunk. So there is a need for reading ancient and medieval history as well. what sources, and with what depth, that I will talk about, don't worry. And we are going to conduct lectures for these two components as well here. Okay, don't worry at all about it. I will give you handouts as well. I'll give you notes which are relevant from the perspective of prelims as well as mains, as far as ancient and medieval is concerned. Okay, please understand, which I'm going to repeat later on again. In ancient and medieval history, hardly any questions come on the political history. कौन सा राजा उसने कौन सी लड़ाई की, इसके ऊपर सवाल नहीं आते generally. So that part is to be kept brief, and the focus has to be on culture. Most of the questions of UPSC have been on culture as far as ancient and medieval history is concerned. There have been a question on culture from modern as well, but right now I'm talking about ancient and medieval. Ancient and medieval, the questions are on culture, but again, culture interacts with other aspects of history that we discuss: political, social, economic. So all these aspects have an interaction with the culture, and these aspects influence culture. Culture in turn influences them as well. For example, Gandhar art comes under the culture because it is a sculpture. गांधार आर्ट में कनिष्क की मूर्ति मिली है. अभी कनिष्क कौन है? कनिष्क was a king. What is happening now? Political aspect influencing cultural aspect. That's why while studying ancient and medieval history, the major focus would remain on culture, but at the same time, bare minimum understanding of political, social, economic history is something that is required. Don't worry, in all my lectures I'm going to do this. So we'll focus on culture, and whatever bare minimum is required for you, I will provide that. Don't worry about it. Okay, so that is about ancient and medieval. Now then, modern history of India, उसके दो parts है. Please understand ना इसको. उसके दो parts है. 1757 to 1857, and then 1858 to 1947. Okay, some historians may place 1757 to 1857 into the medieval history. Some historians place it in modern history, but we are not really worried about it. कहीं भी प्लेस करो, कहीं ना कहीं पढ़ना है उसको. 1757 to 1857 बहुत सारी चीजें हुई हैं, right from Robert Clive up to Lord Dalhousie. We have to talk about all of them and different other things which are happening in Indian society, different revolts and different resistance movements and different other things, economic and social policies at that time. Say for example, Benting का जो social reform की regulation against sati वगैरह वगैरह. So different things come here, and उसके ऊपर सवाल भी आ चुके हैं. So 1757 to 1857 ये एक period है almost 100 years का, and then almost 90 years का 1858 to 1947. 1757 Battle of Plassey, 1857 revolt, all right, of Indian leaders against the British rule. So initial 100 years are the years of company rule. कौन सा company? East India Company. 1858 to 1947 is precisely the crown rule or the rule of British Parliament. All right, and within that, 1885 to 1847 is the Indian national movement. All right, so revolt of 1857 also becomes part of Indian national movement in a different way, but the real focus is from 1885 to 1947. That's why that part is separately mentioned, Indian national movement. So नीचे लिखा हुआ है वो Indian national movement 1885 to 1947 with special emphasis. मतलब all the events, all the significant events, personalities and different activities in this periodization, we are supposed to really give a lot of emphasis. So that is how we are supposed to study. Then post-independence history of India, there have been questions on this as well. For example, planning के ऊपर questions आ चुके हैं. ठीक है. So this part may overlap with the polity. Green Revolution हो गया, reorganization of India, consolidation and reorganization of India in terms of states, reorganization committee and all those things may come under post-independence history of India. So this is what we are supposed to study as far as history is concerned. Again, I'm repeating this. Though all these points are important, the real emphasis has to be on Indian national movement. That is what UPSC says. However, out of the questions asked, almost half the questions are asked on ancient and medieval. So we must not ignore ancient and medieval. All right, okay. And this may vary. Sometimes question may be lesser in number on ancient medieval, sometimes more on modern history. ये combination UPSC करता है, वो हमारे हाथ में नहीं है. हमारे हाथ में क्या है, जो सिलेबस में दिया है उसको पढ़ना, as simple as that. Okay, having talked about the syllabus of prelims, let us look at the syllabus of mains examination. All right, as far as history is concerned. Look at that. In mains GS paper 1, these are the points of syllabus as far as history is concerned. The first line of the syllabus is regarding Indian culture. That's why I said there's a special focus on Indian culture. Now, you can look at it. Indian culture covers what? यूपीएससी ने खुद ने बताया है, हम अपने मन में जो है वो नहीं बताना है. What UPSC says, salient aspects of art forms, literature, architecture from ancient to modern times. एक बात क्लियरली बोली गई यहाँ पे, कौन सी? कि एंशियंट से लेकर मॉडर्न तक सारे आर्ट फॉर्म्स, लिटरेचर, आर्किटेक्चर, ये हमारा सिलेबस है. अब आर्ट फॉर्म्स में क्या है, पहले मैंने बोला है, व्हाट इज दैट? इंडियन पेंटिंग, स्कल्पचर, म्यूजिक, डांस, एटसेट्रा. ठीक है, सो दोज आर आर्ट फॉर्म्स. देन लिटरेचर ऑफ डिफरेंट पीरियड्स and even the architecture that comes under the first line of syllabus, which covers all three phases of history: ancient, medieval, modern. Second line of the syllabus is modern Indian history, from middle of 18th century until the present. This is where they use the word present and that's why we have to come to the present times. मतलब अपने हिस्ट्री का जो पढ़ाई है वो एंशिएंट टाइम से शुरू होके करंट के साथ फ्यूज होना चाहिए. उसके दो फायदे हैं. एक, ये पूरा सिलेबस कवर होगा. दूसरा फायदा, करंट अफेयर्स बहुत अच्छे से समझ में आएगा. इसलिए ये जरूरी भी है कि आप लोग पहले वो पूरा हिस्ट्री पढ़ लो तो करंट अफेयर भी अच्छे से समझ में आएगा. ओके, सो मॉडर्न इंडियन हिस्ट्री, UPSC has clearly mentioned it in the syllabus, from the middle of 18th century until the present. So what all things we are supposed to study in that? Significant events, personalities and issues. इसलिए मैंने बोला कि वो जो डिस्टिंक्शन हमने किया था हिस्ट्री और पास्ट में, वो इंपॉर्टेंट है. नॉन सिग्निफिकेंट इवेंट्स आर नॉट टू बी स्टडीड. ठीक है, सो सिग्निफिकेंट इवेंट्स, पर्सनालिटीज एंड इश्यूज फ्रॉम द एंटायर हिस्ट्री इज समथिंग दैट वी आर सपोज्ड टू स्टडी. नाउ प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, ये किसके बारे में बोला गया है? मॉडर्न इंडियन हिस्ट्री के बारे में. और यूपीएससी ने सीधा बोल दिया ना हमको कि मिडल ऑफ 18th सेंचुरी. अभी मिडल ऑफ 18th सेंचुरी क्या है? एक इवेंट ऐसी है मिडल ऑफ 18th सेंचुरी में, that is Battle of Plassey, which changed the entire scene of India, political, social, cultural, everything. So what is that event, Battle of Plassey? So 1757 से आगे is what they are trying to say. All right, okay. So 1757 Battle of Plassey onwards, all the important events, personalities, issues. मतलब इसका मतलब क्या होता है? एंशिएंट मिडिवल में कल्चर का फोकस है. वहां पे ये नहीं बोला गया कि सारे इवेंट्स पढ़ो. हाँ, देखो अपना सिलेबस हमको ठीक से पता होना चाहिए. We must understand syllabus properly. और हम ये पहचान जाए right in the beginning. We must identify right in the beginning, what is to be studied, what is not to be studied. So let me be very clear here. In ancient medieval, there is very little focus on political events. There is some focus on administrative aspect, economic aspect, social aspect, but the real emphasis is on culture. Example, जो मैं बाद में देने वाला ही हूँ, संगम लिटरेचर के ऊपर सवाल आया था. अब ये लिटरेचर तो पार्ट है अपने सिलेबस का, लेकिन उसमें ये नहीं पूछा था कि लिटरेचर क्या है. ये पूछा था कि संगम लिटरेचर में जो इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है, बेस्ड ऑन दैट व्हाट सोशियो इकोनॉमिक कंडीशंस ऑफ साउथ इंडिया डू वी अंडरस्टैंड. सो दैट्स व्हाई आई सेड लिटिल बिट ऑफ सोशल, इकोनॉमिक, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव अंडरस्टैंडिंग with a real focus on culture is what we are supposed to do as far as approach to ancient and medieval history is concerned. When it comes to modern history, all the aspects with equal emphasis. That is what UPSC syllabus clearly tells us. All right, okay. Third point, again here, like in the prelim syllabus, again the freedom struggle is separated out and emphasized. Okay, so the freedom struggle, yeah, international movement, both the things are same. Freedom struggle, various stages, important contributors and contributions from various parts of our country. So इसमें दो चीजें हैं. एक, various stages of the Indian national movement of freedom struggle. See, moderates, extremist and Gandhian era, इस तरह से historians ने इसको डिवाइड किया है. तो तीनों स्टेजेस को ठीक से पढ़ना पड़ेगा. And within those three stages, there is another thread of revolutionary movements as well. ठीक है, so we have to study all the four aspects and different other aspects as well. So various stages, important contributors in terms of personalities, मॉडरेट लीडर्स होंगे, एक्सट्रीमिस्ट लीडर्स होंगे, उन्हीं को ओल्ड नेशनलिस्ट, न्यू नेशनलिस्ट भी बोला जाता है. देन गांधीयन फेज के लीडर्स, गांधी वाज वन ऑफ दोज लीडर्स, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रादर, बट देयर वर अदर लीडर्स एज वेल. उन सबका पढ़ना पड़ेगा हमको, और उनका कंट्रीब्यूशन and the contribution from different parts of the country. There could be some regional movements, some regional events, those are also to be studied. For example, Anushilan Samiti was a revolutionary organization from West Bengal. So that their activities were confined to West Bengal only, but we need to study that. So contributions from different parts of the country as well, we need to understand. All right, Mopila rebellion, for example, was in South India, so वो भी पढ़ना पड़ेगा. रीजनल है लेकिन पढ़ना पड़ेगा. सो डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ कंट्री की जो इंपॉर्टेंट इवेंट्स है वो भी हमको यहाँ पे पढ़ने पड़ेंगे as far as the part of freedom struggle is concerned. Then post independence consolidation and reorganization. The syllabus clearly saying consolidation and reorganization. Independence मिला इंडिया को, तो इंडिया को consolidate करने वाले, इंडिया को reorganize करने वाले जो decades है वो पढ़ने पड़ेंगे. ठीक है, that may literally come up to the present times considering the recent state formation of Telangana, Jharkhand, Uttarakhand, etc. ठीक है, but again that you cover in polity as well. So generally in post independence at the most you can cover up to 70s, which covers the major portion of consolidation and reorganization. ठीक है, and that may get overlapped with the study in polity, maybe a study in for example the foreign policy of India, तो उसमें भी बहुत सारी चीजें, बहुत सारे parts आ जाएंगे, don't worry about it. So post independence consolidation 50s 60s 70s at the most 80s, that's it. So that is the period that we are supposed to study as far as this part is concerned. Okay, then modern history of the world. अब ये मेरा part नहीं, लेकिन I will just mention that and we'll go ahead. This will be covered by Jawad Kaji sir in tomorrow's lecture. So modern history of the world from 18th century onwards, important events and political philosophies. Let me tell you very clearly, Jawad Kaji sir will talk about all those events and political philosophies, but again, he will have another maybe a lecture on political philosophies when it comes to international relations, a subject that I am going to teach again. There I will talk about the political philosophy which are mentioned in the syllabus of history. So that would be covered in world history or in the IR, don't worry about it. So entire syllabus would be covered in our upcoming lectures. So this is the discussion on the syllabus of history as far as mains examination is concerned. Okay, having talked about the syllabus, let us come to the sample questions now. First, talk about the sample questions from preliminary examination. I have deliberately picked up questions from the latest examination, that is 2019. Okay, look at the questions. I have picked up 2 questions from ancient history, picked up 2 questions from middle history, 2 questions from modern history. So these are the 2 questions from ancient history. Look at the question number 97. Which one of the following is not a Harappan site? So you need to study Harappan civilization. You should know the major sites of Harappan civilization. That is the expectation in the first question. So Chanudaro, Kodiji, Sohgora, and Desalpur. So these are the options given, and we know that Sohgora is not a Harappan site. All right. So Sohgora is rather a site which becomes important during Mauryan period. All right. So we should know a little bit of history in terms of sites as well, so that such questions can be tackled. Don't worry, I'm going to do that. Then look at the next question, 99. We are not here to answer the questions. I'm just trying to give you the feel of questions as far as preliminary examination is concerned. Look at the question number 99. There are some statements. There are 3 statements. Deification of Buddha, treading the path of bodhisattvas, then image worship and rituals. Now, ये कैसा सवाल है? ये किसी आर्ट फॉर्म पे है क्या? नहीं. ये आर्किटेक्चर पे है? नहीं. ठीक है. ये लिटरेचर पे है? काइंड ऑफ यस. बट कौन सा लिटरेचर? दैट इज रिलीजियस लिटरेचर, from which we understand the philosophy of Buddhism. That's why I said there are questions on religion as well, but in different way. किसी भी religion का philosophy क्या है, इस तरह के questions आए हैं, तो वो थोड़ा सा समझना जरूरी है. So Buddhism was divided into 2 sections, 2 factions after death of Gautam Buddha. That is Mahayana and Hirayan Buddhism. All right. तो ये सारे features Mahayana Buddhism के हैं. All these features are of Mahayana Buddhism. ठीक है. So if we learn what Gautam Buddha talked about in his own philosophical understanding, and then how Hinayanist interpreted that, how Mahayanist interpreted that, ये अगर हम पढ़ेंगे तो ये आसानी से solve हो सकता है. So we are going to study Buddhism in our ancient lectures. Don't worry about it. Now look at the other questions. Prelim examination के जो questions medieval पे आए हैं. Look at that. Question number 87. Who among the following Mughal emperors shifted emphasis from illustrated manuscripts to albums and individual portrait? Okay, what is it? It is a question on the painting. It is a question on the painting, and there are names of the kings of Mughal Empire given: Humayun, Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan. So we need to understand that questions may come from painting as well. ये medieval का हो गया. दूसरा सवाल, with reference to Mughal India, what are the differences between Jahagirdar and Zamindar? Now यहाँ पे देखो यूपीएससी ने क्या बोला, एंशिएंट मिडिवल में कल्चर पढ़ो, लेकिन ये क्लियरली दिस क्वेश्चन ऑन द एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ मुगल एम्पायर. ऐसा नहीं कि मुगल एम्पायर के ऊपर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव क्वेश्चंस पूछे गए हैं. हाँ, क्वेश्चन तो उस पे भी आया था अर्ली मिडिवल महाताराज के ऊपर. So you may get some questions on the administration as well, because the administration is mentioned in different literatures. Administration is mentioned in different inscriptions. अब inscriptions क्या है? रॉक पे या फिर पिलर पे कुछ ना कुछ इंस्क्राइब किया हुआ है पुराने लोगों ने, तो वही वहां पे भी बहुत सारे मेंशंस आते हैं अलग अलग एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव पोजीशंस के, उनके फंक्शंस के. इसके बारे में तो काफी लिटरेचर है. मुगल टाइम में और दिल्ली सल्तनत के टाइम पे regarding the empires, a lot of literature is available. So from that, this question comes. So what is the difference between Jahangir and Jamindar? There are statements, you can read that later. What I'm trying to tell you is, questions are based on, as far as ancient medieval is concerned, based on culture. However, these questions also venture into the domains of administration, a little bit of polity, and a little bit of social economic conditions as well. So that's why it is important to read these two. But in terms of proportion of time that you are supposed to devote, as far as ancient medieval on one hand and modern on the other hand is concerned, I would say that proportion has to be 30-70. So 30% of your time to this part and 70% on modern history. Okay, let us look at the questions from modern history. Okay. Question number 96, consider the following pairs. There are matching kind of a question, but matches are given. You have to identify the correct matches. Kya diya hua hai? Movement or the organization in one column, and the leader of that movement or organization in the other column. All India Anti-Intouchability League, then All India Kisan Sabha and Self-Respect Movement, and then MK Gandhi, Swami Sahajanand Saraswati, and E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar. So you have to match these pairs. That means you need to understand different important events, movements, organizations, and their leaders. This can be done. What are the tricks to really remember all these things? That I will cover in my lectures. Don't worry about it. Okay. Look at the next question, 95. With reference to Swadeshi movement, consider the following statements. What are the statements? It contributed to the revival of indigenous artisan crafts and industries. All right. Indigenous artisan crafts and industries. Second, the National Council of Education was established as a part of Swadeshi movement. Okay. Even if you don't know much about Swadeshi movement, you can easily see that both the statements are correct. Why? Because the word Swadeshi itself promotes, indigenous arts and crafts. And the agenda of Swadeshi, as far as Swadeshi is concerned, this comes, Swadeshi movement was launched after the partition of Bengal by the extremist leaders, neo-nationalists. So neo-nationalists emphasized on national education as well. And that's why that National Council of Education also comes under this Swadeshi movement. Okay, so this is how the questions appear. Okay, so these are the prelim questions. Let us now look at the questions from mains examination. Okay, that is there on the screen. In the mains examination, the questions are a little bit analytical. Let us look at them. I have picked up questions from 2019. You can look at the questions from 2013 up to the present time, because 2013 से pattern change हुआ था. Okay. The first question is, highlight the Central Asian and Greco-Bactrian elements in the Gandhar art. 10 marker है, 150 words में आंसर लिखना है. Now ये सबसे पहले तो ये समझना पड़ेगा कि ये गांधार आर्ट कहाँ पे है, गांधार कहाँ पे है, आज के पाकिस्तान में है. ठीक है, तो गांधार आर्ट इतना फेमस क्यों है? दैट इज वन. गांधार आर्ट कब आया था और ये ग्रीको-बैक्ट्रियन कहाँ से आया? ऐसे लगता है ना कि इंडिया में ये और बैक्टीरिया क्या है, और ग्रीक लोग यहाँ तक आए थे क्या, और सेंट्रल एशियन लोग कौन थे? ठीक है. ओके, अब यहाँ पे दैट इज व्हाट आई सेड, एंशिएंट टाइम में थोड़ा सा जो पॉलिटिकल पार्ट, थोड़ा सा, बहुत ज्यादा नहीं, ऐसे क्वेश्चन समझने के लिए वो रिक्वायर्ड है. बट आई एम टेलिंग यू क्लियरली, जो थोड़ा सा पॉलिटिकल पार्ट रिक्वायर्ड है वो मैं बता दूंगा. उसके लिए मैं कोई बुक नहीं बताऊंगा. आई एम टेलिंग यू, आई विल इन माई लेक्चर्स कवर दैट, और उसके नोट्स भी मिल जाएंगे इन योर हैंड. ब्रीफ the political history of ancient and medieval history, brief, something that will help you understand such questions. अलेक्जेंडर का जब इन्वेजन हुआ था इंडिया के ऊपर, अलेक्जेंडर, सिकंदर बोलते हैं ना, अलेक्जेंडर द ग्रेट, ठीक है, 326 BCE. अब ये BCE ACE क्या है, पीरियडाइजेशन क्या है, ये मैं बात करने वाला हूं नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में. तो वो जब वापस चला गया तो कुछ ग्रीक लोग यहीं पे रुक गए थे, और ये पाकिस्तान के उधर का एरिया है जो अफगानिस्तान में आता है, कुछ हद तक ईरान में आता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड बैक्ट्रिया. ठीक है, सो द बैक्ट्रिया एरिया में ग्रीक लोग रुक गए थे, बैक्ट्रिया और इंडस वैली में कुछ. दैट इज व्हाई दोज आर कॉल्ड ग्रीको बैक्ट्रियन और इंडो बैक्ट्रियन, सॉरी इंडो ग्रीक. इंडो ग्रीक किंगडम बना बाद में, और इंडो ग्रीक किंगडम को पार्थियन लोगों ने रिप्लेस किया जो सेंट्रल एशिया से आए थे. शक लोगों ने रिप्लेस किया, कुशाणों ने रिप्लेस किया. दैट मीन्स बहुत सारे सेंट्रल एशियन लोग गांधार में आ चुके थे गांधार आर्ट के ऊपर इन्फ्लुएंस करने के लिए। तो कौन से लोग हैं? एक तो इंडो ग्रीक्स है, पार्थियन है, कुषाण है, शक है, एटसेट्रा। अब ग्रीक एलिमेंट्स कौन से हैं वो वी विल टॉक अबाउट इट। ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ द बॉडी, द काइंड ऑफ क्लोथिंग, द ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ द हेयर, ऑल दिस थिंग्स आर द ग्रीक रोमन फीचर्स। बैक्ट्रियन फीचर्स भी है, ठीक है। एक इंपॉर्टेंट बात मैं बता दूं, जैसे मैंने कुषाण लोगों की बात की, तो कनिष्क वाज अ कुषाण किंग, तो उसकी मूर्ति है वहां पे। सो अंडरस्टैंड दिस, ये सब बता पाओगे तुम लोग द मोमेंट यू स्टडी दैट पार्ट ऑफ द हिस्ट्री एंड दैट इन a simplified manner। तो हर लेक्चर में ऐसे में एक एक टॉपिक लूंगा जो that will cover all the aspects. It's not just about Gandhar art, it's about Mathura art, it's about Amravati art, different schools of arts. Let UPSC ask questions or anything. Let's be prepared with all the aspects of a given period in the history. Okay. Then examine the linkages between 19th century's Indian Renaissance and the emergence of Indian national identity. Okay. Again, 10 marker, 150 words. Now I will not answer each question because the introductory lecture बाद में हो जाएगा, don't worry about it. लेकिन इंडियन रिनाइसेंस जो है वो शुरू हुआ ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट यहाँ आने के बाद, जो यहाँ पे एक वेस्टर्न एजुकेशन की शुरुआत हुई, उसके साथ वी सी इंडियन रिनाइसेंस हु स्टैंड्स राइट एट द टॉप ऑफ इट इन टर्म्स ऑफ एज अ बिगिनर इज राजा राम मोहन रॉय, राइट। सो इंडियन रिनाइसेंस वाज इंपॉर्टेंट टू शेप द नेशनलिस्ट आइडेंटिटी एज फार एज इंडिया इज कंसर्न्ड। तो उसकी बात यहाँ पे करनी पड़ेगी आपको। प्रिसाइजली दिस क्वेश्चन इज बेस्ड ऑन बैकग्राउंड टू द इंडियन नेशनल मूवमेंट। दैट मीन्स राजाराम मोहन रॉय का टाइम मतलब 1820s 30s से लेकर 1885 तक जो भी हुआ इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें, उसके बारे में हमको इन टर्म्स ऑफ इंडियन रिनाइसेंस उसकी बात करनी पड़ेगी। उसमें सोशल रिफॉर्मर्स का जो एक योगदान है, उनका एक जो कंट्रीब्यूशन है, उसको समझना पड़ेगा। ओके, नाउ क्वेश्चन नंबर 3 एज फार एज 19 क्वेश्चन पेपर इज कंसर्न्ड। The 1857 uprising was the culmination of recurrent big and small rebellions that had occurred in the preceding 100 years of British rule. Elucidate. अब ये सुनने में देखने में डिफिकल्ट लगता है, 100 साल में कौन से इवेंट्स कहां मिलेगा क्या, डोंट वरी, सब बताऊंगा मैं। आई एम गोइंग टू टेल यू दैट यू आर सपोज टू रीड ग्रोवर, BL ग्रोवर का बुक ऑन द मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री फॉर दैट पीरियड। कौन सा पीरियड? 1757 to 1857 प्रिसाइजली। उसमें एक डेडिकेटेड चैप्टर है रे, रिबेलियंस बिफोर रिवॉल्यूशन ऑफ 57। तो 1757 टू 1857 की जितने भी छोटे मोटे रिबेलियंस है वो दिए हुए हैं उसमें, और ब्रीफली उनके कॉजेस भी बताए हुए हैं। इफ यू रीड दैट चैप्टर यू कैन इजीली आंसर दिस क्वेश्चन। ऑलराइट, सो दैट इज रिक्वायर्ड। अगेन अपराइजिंग जो था वो कहीं ना कहीं ये जो रिबेलियंस हुए छोटे मोटे, उसमें जो रीजंस है वही कंपाइल होके एक्यूमुलेट होके उसी का एक एक्सप्रेशन था, which was a much larger expression, that is uprising or revolt of 1857. Okay, then next question. Many voices had strengthened and enriched the nationalist movement during Gandhian phase. Elaborate. Please understand, many of us think that why that phase is called Gandhian phase. ठीक है, ये बाद में देख लेना, हिस्टोरियन बन गए तो हाँ, हिस्टोरियन नाम दिया तो फिर एक्सेप्ट करो, नंबर 1। नंबर 2, और यूपीएससी भी वही वर्ड यूज करता है, so let us not go into it. So Gandhian phase, no doubt Gandhi was the most important person during this time, but there were other important personalities who enriched this entire process. Are you getting this? So we need to understand that alongside Gandhi, the different other threads which are going on, those are all to be studied as well. During Gandhian time, there were Swarajists like Chittaranjan Das and Motilal Nehru, who had their own path. Then Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had his own path, right? Jinnah had his own path. So different other people who really had their own path in different ways. They enriched, strengthened. अब Jinnah ने enrich नहीं किया, strengthen नहीं किया, divide किया, that's a different thing. But Ambedkar in a different way enriched the Indian national movement. वो हम बात करेंगे बाद में, in detail उसका discussion होगा, don't worry about it. Okay. Then there are revolutionaries as well during this time. Subhash Chandra Bose है, Nehru है, there are different personalities. Patel है, ठीक है. So we will have a thorough discussion on that when we discuss modern history. Then the last question on this slide: assess the role of British imperial power in complicating the process of transfer of power during 1940s. 1940s का वो टाइम है जहां पे सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर चल रहा था 45 तक। ओके, उसमें काफी, उसको बोलते हैं इंडियन डेडलॉक, जहां पे प्रोसेस कॉम्प्लिकेट हो गई थी because of two things. One, the British imperial policies, not just during 40s but in the entire British rule. Okay, then as a result of that policy there was a rift between Muslim League and Indian National Congress. That really complicated the process of transfer of power. तो ये भी हम डिस्कस करेंगे। वहां पे रोल ऑफ ब्रिटिश इंपीरियल पावर को असेस करना है. सो प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, थर्रो अंडरस्टैंडिंग डिस्कशन इज रिक्वायर्ड. अब कहीं पे भी जितने मैंने क्वेश्चन दिखाए प्रीलिम से या फिर मेन से, कहीं पे भी डिड यू लुक एट दिस, ये दिखा तुमको कि कोई ईयर पूछा है डेलिबरेटली? ऐसा नहीं दिखता है. रेयरली a year or date is asked, rarely. And if you understand the flow of history, you can easily answer those questions based on the options given to you. Having talked about the sample questions, ultimately. Now let us talk about the previous year question paper analysis. Previous year question paper analysis. You know, how do we do this? हर कोई बोलता है कि previous year question paper analysis करो, लेकिन तुम्हारे सामने मैंने एक मॉडल रखा है, ठीक है. This is a rather an incomplete question paper analysis, पूरा possible नहीं है इस पेज पे, तो मैंने इंडिकेशन दी है तुम लोगों को. So in tabular format, you can really do this question paper analysis. This is for GS1, and this you can do for any paper, GS1, 2, 3, essay paper, optional paper, whatever. How you can do it? As I said, as far as mains is concerned, the question paper analysis should begin from 2013 onwards, because वहां से pattern change हुआ. 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, यहाँ पे मैंने डॉट दिया है. If you see this, डॉट्स दिए मैंने यहाँ पे, ठीक है. दैट उसका मतलब है कि उसके अंदर जो कॉलम्स हैं आपको ऐड करने पड़ेंगे. अब ये इधर रो में ऊपर जो टॉप रो है उसमें मैंने क्या किया है, द फर्स्ट रो गिव्स यू ईयर, एरो दिखा यहाँ पे, ईयर्स बताता है, और जो कॉलम है फर्स्ट कॉलम उसमें क्वेश्चन नंबर है. सो दैट क्रिएट्स अ मैट्रिक्स, ठीक है, एक मैट्रिक्स बन जाता है. तो उसमें क्या कर सकते हो, फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन 2013, फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन 2014, और पूरा क्वेश्चन मत लिखना, उसको बहुत बड़ा फिर कैनवास लगेगा. एक बड़ा पेपर आता है ना वो पेंटिंग वगैरह के लिए, वो बनाओ, उसमें क्लियरली लिखो और तुम्हारे स्टडी रूम के सामने लगा दो, सो दैट यू कैन रिवाइज दैट एवरी नाउ एंड देन. हमेशा तुम्हारे सामने रहेगा तो तुमको एक अंदाजा आएगा, यू विल गेट सम आइडिया ऑफ व्हाट ऑल क्वेश्चंस आर आस्क्ड ऑन व्हाट एरियाज एंड व्हाट टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस. तो मैंने क्या क्या लिखा है देखो, काफी लंबा क्वेश्चन था संगम लिटरेचर के ऊपर, वो मैं दिखाऊंगा बाद में. तो संगम लिटरेचर के ऊपर क्या क्वेश्चन है, सोशियो इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन के, उसका जो मेन पॉइंट है वो निकालने को आना चाहिए. संगम लिटरेचर पे सवाल है, लेकिन किस पे है, सोशियो इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन पे. लेकिन एग्जैक्ट सवाल क्या है, कमेंट, तो उतना वर्ड लिख दो, ठीक है. लाइकवाइज इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन पे सवाल आया था, और क्या था वो, कंपैरिजन विद द मॉडर्न अर्बनाइजेशन, मतलब इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन का अर्बनाइजेशन टू बी कंपेयर्ड विद द मॉडर्न अर्बनाइजेशन, ये लिखा है. उसको क्या बोला है, लेकिन डिस्कस बोला है, तो वो लिखो. दोस कीवर्ड्स ऑफ द क्वेश्चन आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बिकॉज दैट डिसाइड्स द टोन ऑफ योर आंसर. कमेंट करना है तो तुम्हारे आंसर में कमेंट आना चाहिए तुम्हारा. डिस्कशन बोला है तो नीचे समरी आनी चाहिए. कमेंट बोला है, कमेंट, हाँ. सो हाईलाइट बोला है, हाईलाइट करो, नीचे पूरा समरी दे दो. जो 2019 के क्वेश्चन है, क्या हाईलाइट करने को बोला है, सेंट्रल एशियन ग्रीको बैक्ट्रियन एलिमेंट्स इन गांधार आर्ट, जो हमने थोड़ी देर पहले डिस्कस किया था. सो दिस इज हाउ दिस गिव्स यू कंप्लीट पिक्चर ऑफ द डिफरेंट क्वेश्चंस आस्क्ड इन द previous year question papers. So this is how you're supposed to analyze. Don't try to answer the questions as of now. I know there would be a huge curiosity in your mind, अरे इसका आंसर क्या है, उसका आंसर क्या है, लेकिन ये मत करो. अभी मैं बोल भी दूंगा आंसर, इट मेक्स नो सेंस. यू नो, आंसर तुमसे आना चाहिए जब हम डिस्कस करते हैं इस चीज को पूरी तरह से, ठीक है. सो लेट अस नॉट जंप टू द आंसर्स एज ऑफ नाउ. और मैं चाहूंगा भी नहीं कि वो आंसर्स अभी हम ले लें, बिकॉज यू नो कोई भी क्वेश्चन हो फॉर दैट मैटर, उसका एक फ्लो है हिस्ट्री का, वो समझोगे तो यू कैन इजीली आंसर दैट लेटर ऑन, ठीक है. ओके, लेट अस नॉट जंप टू द आंसर. आंसर की तरफ कब जाना चाहिए, जब हमारा स्टडी कंप्लीट होता है. व्हेन यू फिनिश ऑफ योर स्टडी विद माइक्रो नोट्स, देन टॉक अबाउट द आंसर्स, ठीक है. ओके, नाउ having understood the question paper analysis, now let us go to the next topic of our session today. That is how to study Indian history. अब ये हमने क्या क्या देख लिया, हिस्ट्री क्या है, इंडियन हिस्ट्री क्या है, ठीक है. उसके बाद यूपीएससी का सिलेबस क्या है, हिस्ट्री में क्या पढ़ना है एग्जैक्टली, सोशल, पॉलिटिकल, इकोनॉमिक, एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा. We talked about sample questions, we talked about previous year question paper analysis. Now let us talk about how to study Indian history, जो हमारा सबसे important core part है, ठीक है. How to study Indian history. Simplify करके बता रहा हूं मैं यहाँ पे, ठीक है, जो हमने अभी तक डिस्कस किया है. Okay, look at the first point on your screen. The first thing that we are supposed to do is to understand the scope of Indian history, and this would be the topic of my second lecture, ठीक है. जब वो हिस्ट्री का सेकंड लेक्चर अपना शुरू होगा, तो उसमें पहला लेक्चर किस चीज पे होगा, द डिस्कशन ऑन द आउटलाइन ऑफ इंडियन हिस्ट्री. अब ये जानना बहुत जरूरी है. बहुत बार क्या होता है, those who are beginners as far as Indian history is concerned, they get confused. अरे इतने सारे पार्ट से तो क्या क्या है, पता नहीं कब कहाँ है, चंद्रगुप्त कौन था, और वो चंद्रगुप्त मौर्य कौन था, गुप्त डायनेस्टी कौन सा था, हाँ? वो लॉर्ड कॉर्नवालिस कब आया, और वो वेवेल कब आया, वगैरह वगैरह। तो इसमें कंफ्यूज होने की जरूरत नहीं है। द आउटलाइन ऑफ इंडियन हिस्ट्री एक ऐसी चीज है, 1.5 पेज में पूरा इंडियन हिस्ट्री, ठीक है, ब्रीफ, एकदम ब्रीफ। सो दैट विल गिव यू ऑल द कंपोनेंट्स। अब ये बात अलग है कि एक एक कंपोनेंट को लेके डिटेल डिस्कशन वो बाद में होगा, बट दिस फर्स्ट लेक्चर इटसेल्फ वुड रियली हेल्प यू अ लॉट। कैसे, आई टेल यू, उसका एग्जांपल भी मैंने दिया है। सो व्हाट इज इट रिक्वायर्ड to understand the outline of Indian history? Why is it required? I'll tell you. Okay. How to study the outline of Indian history? I'm answering everything. Wait. You know, the first lecture after this would be on the outline of Indian history. मैं खुद देने वाला हूँ. I will give you the entire outline of Indian history. PDF form में सबको मिलेगा, ठीक है. Also, you will see that on the screen, ठीक है. और जो डिस्कशन होगा वो उसमें सब कुछ समझ में आएगा, डोंट वरी. तो आउटलाइन ऑफ इंडियन हिस्ट्री, चलो मैं बोल देता हूँ एक सिंपल, क्या क्या हिस्ट्री मेरे एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री में क्या क्या क्विकली, ठीक है. प्री हिस्ट्री में आता है स्टोन एज, उसमें पैलियोलिथिक, मेसोलिथिक एंड न्यूलिथिक एंड कैल्कोलिथिक, ठीक है. उसके बाद आता है इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन, उसके बाद आता है वैदिक एज, उसके बाद आता है पोस्ट वैदिक एज जिसमें जैनिज्म, बुद्धिज्म, महाजनपद है. उसके बाद आता है मौर्य एम्पायर, ठीक है. मौर्य एम्पायर में मौर्य एम्पायर का पूरा स्टडी. उसके बाद पोस्ट मौर्य जिसमें अलग अलग किंगडम्स है, सातवाहन, इंडो ग्रीक्स, कुषाण, पार्थियन, शुंग एटसेट्रा. देन साउथ इंडिया का हिस्ट्री है इसी टाइम में, चोला, चेराज, पांड्या, संगम लिटरेचर. उसके बाद आता है गुप्त एम्पायर. गुप्त एम्पायर में गुप्त एम्पायर की बात, वाकाटक डायनेस्टी की बात और डिफरेंट अदर डायनेस्टीज एट दैट टाइम, स्मॉलर डायनेस्टी कल्चर. देन पोस्ट गुप्त पीरियड में हर्षवर्धन एक इंपॉर्टेंट किंग है, पुष्यभूति डायनेस्टी. ये हो गया एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री, दैट्स इट. ये एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री का ब्रीफ आउटलाइन है. मिडिवल हिस्ट्री, अर्ली मिडिवल में नॉर्थ इंडिया में ट्राइपर्टाइज स्ट्रगल है, उसमें गुर्जर प्रतिहार, राष्ट्रकूट एंड पाल किंगडम, उनका स्ट्रगल है कनौज के लिए. साउथ इंडिया में चोल एम्पायर बनता है उसी टाइम पे, अर्ली मिडिवल में. अब मिडिवल हिस्ट्री में क्या है, दिल्ली सल्तनत है नॉर्थ में, साउथ में विजयनगर एम्पायर है, बहामनी किंगडम है. बहामनी किंगडम के 5 टुकड़े हो जाते हैं, आदिल शाही, बरीद शाही, इमाद शाही, कुतुब शाही, ये सारे, ठीक है, निजाम शाही. एंड देन आफ्टर दिल्ली सल्तनत इन नॉर्थ देयर इज मुगल एम्पायर, जिसमें 2 पार्ट कर सकते हैं. इंपीरियल मुगल्स जिसमें बाबर, हुमायूं, अकबर, जहांगीर, शाहजहां एंड औरंगजेब. औरंगजेब के बाद लेटर मुगल्स है जिनका कंट्रोल पूरा निकल जाता है एम्पायर के ऊपर से. फिर अलग अलग रीजनल पावर्स इमर्ज होते हैं, बंगाल का नवाब, हैदराबाद स्टेट, अमीर्स ऑफ सिंध, सिख किंगडम्स, राजपूत किंगडम्स, मराठा एम्पायर एटसेट्रा. देन देयर इज अ मुगल रूल, सॉरी ब्रिटिश रूल, उसमें कंपनी रूल 1757 टू 1857, 1858 टू 1947. फिर वो मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री है, उसमें क्राउन रूल है. सो ये हम कर सकते हैं उसको फिर से, फिर वी कैन डिवाइड दैट अगेन इन डिफरेंट पार्ट्स. तो ये आउटलाइन है, बताने वाला हूं, डोंट वरी, जस्ट बी पेशेंट. एक दिन में सब कुछ नहीं हो सकता. अरे ये मैं आज तो इंट्रोडक्शन दे रहा हूं, क्या क्या लर्न करने वाले हैं. जैसे मैंने अभी ये सारी चीजें बताई, ऐसा है कि मेरा रट्टा मारा है, नहीं. दैट इज बिकॉज यू नो फ्लो क्या है हिस्ट्री का, समझ में आना चाहिए. चलो मैं बात बताता हूँ तुमको. जैसे मैंने बोला कि वैदिक एज है, उसके बाद पोस्ट वैदिक एज है, तो महाजनपद का मेंशन किया था मैंने. अब वैदिक एज फिर से 2 पार्ट में डिवाइड होता है, अर्ली वैदिक या फिर ऋग वैदिक एंड लेटर वैदिक. अर्ली वैदिक में जन बोलते थे क्योंकि वो लोग ग्रुप में घूमते थे इधर उधर, क्लैन बोलते हैं उसको, ठीक है. एंड देन इन लेटर वैदिक टाइम्स, लेटर वैदिक का जन का बना जनपद, क्योंकि वो एक जगह पे सेटल हो गए, टेरिटरी बिकेम इंपॉर्टेंट, सो जन बिकम्स जनपद. और पोस्ट वैदिक में जनपद ग्रो होते हैं तो उसको महाजनपद बोला जाता है. तो ये लॉजिकल इवोल्यूशन है ना. अगर ये लॉजिकल इवोल्यूशन समझोगे तो ये बात तो क्लियर है कि पहले अर्ली वैदिक आएगा, फिर लेटर वैदिक आएगा, फिर पोस्ट वैदिक आएगा. सो इफ यू नो द फ्लो ऑफ हिस्ट्री यू कैन नो ए लॉट. अब ये फ्लो ऑफ हिस्ट्री और आउटलाइन एग्जाम के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से कैसे इंपॉर्टेंट है, लुक एट दैट क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम 2014. क्या क्वेश्चन है? तक्षशिला यूनिवर्सिटी was one of the oldest universities of the world, with which were associated a number of renowned learned personalities of different disciplines. Its strategic location caused its fame to flourish, but unlike Nalanda, it is not considered a university in the modern sense. Discuss. अभी काफी इंटरेस्टिंग है. तक्षशिला का टाइम पीरियड पता होगा और नालंदा का टाइम पीरियड पता होगा तो इसको आंसर करना आसान हो जाता है, ठीक है. तक्षशिला बहुत पुराना है, ठीक है, इवन बिफोर क्राइस्ट, मतलब बीसी जिसको बोलते हैं, ठीक है. तो तक्षशिला यूनिवर्सिटी काफी पुरानी है एंड पुराने टाइम में मोस्टली रिलीजियस फिलोसॉफीज वे डिस्कस विद सम अदर सब्जेक्ट्स एंड देयर वाज लॉट ऑफ फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी इन टर्म्स ऑफ करिकुलम, डिस्कशन होते थे, ठीक है. लेकिन जो आज जो मॉडर्न करिकुलम है उस तरह का वी डोंट सी एनी काइंड ऑफ करिकुलम इन तक्षशिला यूनिवर्सिटी. When you come forward, मतलब बुद्धिस्ट इन्फ्लुएंस है तक्षशिला के ऊपर, नालंदा के ऊपर भी है। गौतम बुद्ध का टाइम, मौर्य पीरियड के पहले का टाइम, मौर्य पीरियड का टाइम, यहां तक रिलीजियस फिलोसॉफी इज द मेजर सब्जेक्ट ऑफ एजुकेशन। लेकिन मौर्य एम्पायर के बाद यू सी आर्यभट्ट का कंट्रीब्यूशन इन मैथमेटिक्स, इन एस्ट्रोनॉमी, in geometry, algebra, both. Then there are different other Brahmagupta, ठीक है। There is चरक सुश्रुत who contributed to medicine, तो मेटलर्जी डेवलप हुआ बहुत ज्यादा। तो ये सारे सब्जेक्ट्स which are modern subjects were discussed in Nalanda, number one. Number two, there was a complete curriculum at Nalanda. तो बात ये है, हिस्टोरिकल अगर इवोल्यूशन समझोगे, पुराने टाइम पे जब लोग भटक रहे हैं, वहां पे कौन सा एजुकेशन रहे, तो एट दैट टाइम थोड़ा सा रिलीजियस एजुकेशन ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट था। तो बात ये है, इफ यू लुक एट द इवोल्यूशन, तो इसको आंसर करना आसान होगा तुम्हारे लिए, ठीक है। हाँ, पॉइंट्स तो फिर भी पढ़ने पड़ेंगे, लेकिन अगर आउटलाइन समझ में आएगी तो क्वेश्चन को समझना ज्यादा आसान हो जाता है। दैट इज द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ स्टडिंग outline of Indian history right in the beginning. Okay. Now, so understanding scope of Indian history, that is the first task as far as this question is concerned, how to study Indian history. The next point is how to study ancient and medieval history as far as UPSC is concerned. ये पहले मैं बात कर चुका हूँ, लेकिन just look at it. Focus on cultural aspects, right? Focus cultural aspects with fairly good idea of political, administrative, economic aspects. ये मैं बात कर चुका हूँ। एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के ऊपर प्रीलिम में सवाल आ चुके हैं, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के ऊपर मेंस में भी सवाल आ चुके आएंगे, ठीक है। सो पॉलिटिकल, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव, सोशल, इकोनॉमिक एस्पेक्ट, फेयरली गुड आइडिया, बहुत डिटेल नहीं, लेकिन फोकस ऑन कल्चर। नाउ दैट क्वेश्चन which I touched while discussing previous year questions, question from 2013, क्या क्वेश्चन था, पूरा क्वेश्चन लिखा है मैंने वहां पे। दो नॉट वेरी यूजफुल फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑफ कनेक्टेड पॉलिटिकल हिस्ट्री ऑफ साउथ इंडिया, द संगम लिटरेचर पोर्ट्रेज the social and economic conditions of its time with remarkable vividness. Comment. यहाँ पे क्या दिख रहा है हमको, क्वेश्चन तो लिटरेचर के ऊपर ही है, लेकिन एक्सपेक्टेशन क्या है, यू आर सपोज टू टॉक अबाउट हाउ संगम लिटरेचर पोर्ट्रेज द कॉन्टेम्पररी सोशल इकोनॉमिक कंडीशंस, उस टाइम के सोशल इकोनॉमिक कंडीशंस क्या थे, ये बताना पड़ेगा, जो संगम लिटरेचर से इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है हमको। सो आई एम टेलिंग यू दैट इन आवर लेक्चर विल टॉक अबाउट संगम लिटरेचर, उसमें अलग अलग जो टाइप्स है लिटरेचर के वो भी पढ़ेंगे, और उसमें जो लिखा हुआ है वो भी काफी हद तक मैं बता दूंगा, डोंट वरी अबाउट इट। सो पॉइंट इज, जब हम एंशिएंट मिडिवल पढ़ते हैं तो कल्चर फोकस रहेगा, लेकिन अलोंग साइड कल्चर हमको थोड़ा सा पॉलिटिकल, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव, सोशल, इकोनॉमिक एस्पेक्ट्स भी पढ़ना जरूरी है, एंड दैट वुड बी आल्सो ए फोकस इन आवर lectures too. Okay. Now the modern history, as I said, equal emphasis on all aspects of modern history, along with significant events, personalities and issues. यहाँ पे तो काफी क्लियर है, इसमें सब कुछ पढ़ना पड़ेगा। हाँ, यहाँ पे क्वेश्चंस नहीं दिए मैंने, because that you will do in question paper analysis, as I said, the tabular format. ठीक है, so you can do that. When you do that, you will understand that the questions came from all the aspects as far as modern history is concerned. So again, I am summarizing this slide. Understanding the scope of the history first, then ancient medieval, focus on culture with fairly good idea of modern history, all aspects. This is how we are supposed to study history. Having talked about how, now from what sources? From what sources we are supposed to study this history? Look at that. Basic thing that you have been hearing this since long now. If you basic thing is NCERT books. You are supposed to study NCERT books from 6th standard to 12th standard. Okay, all the books. Okay. In case of history, we generally advise to read old NCERT first. Why? Old NCERT is based on the sequential periods. First Vedic age, उसके बाद फिर post Vedic, फिर Maurya Empire, इस तरह से. That gives you idea about different periods of Indian history. ठीक है. So periodization समझ में आएगा. Once old NCERT you read, then you read new NCERT, because that gives you some additional information. Now, how to study these different books? Okay. So look at the standard reference books का list. उसपे मैंने old NCERT का mention किया है deliberately. So ancient के लिए old NCERT book by R.S. Sharma. Don't go for the reference book of R.S. Sharma. रामचंद्र शर्मा का एक रेफरेंस बुक भी है, वो मत लो, वो ऑप्शनल के लिए ठीक है, इतना बड़ा बुक तुमको यहाँ पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं। सो ओल्ड एनसीईआरटी बुक बाय आर एस शर्मा गिव्स यू फेयर आइडिया अबाउट डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट्स, पॉलिटिकल, सोशल, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एटसेट्रा, along with culture. ठीक है, फॉर एंशिएंट। मैं फिर से रिपीट कर रहा हूँ, वो old NCERT book by R.S. Sharma, not the reference book. Likewise, old NCERT book by Satish Chandra as far as medieval history is concerned. ठीक है, and old NCERT book by Bipin Chandra as far as modern history is concerned. ये तीन खत्म होने के बाद read new NCERTs. That is the basic. Read new NCERTs and then go to the reference books for the modern history. कौन से है वो? Modern Indian History by B.L. Grover. Modern Indian History by B.L. Grover. ठीक है. India Struggle for Independence by Bipin Chandra. India Struggle for Independence by Bipin Chandra. ये दो क्यों पढ़ने? Modern Indian History by B.L. Grover will give you idea about decline of Mughal up to the revolt of 57. Whereas Bipin Chandra का जो book है India Struggle for Independence starts with revolt of 57. तो 57 के पहले का पार्ट ग्रोवर से पढ़ो और बाद का पार्ट ग्रोवर और बिपिन चंद्र का कॉम्बिनेशन कर सकते हो. Then India since independence by Bipin Chandra. Or what you can do is you can read India after Gandhi by Ramchandra Guha selectively. Ramchandra Guha. अब कुछ लोग पूछते हैं कि कल्चर के लिए क्या पढ़ना है? कल्चर के लिए ठीक है. For culture you can read the book by Nitin Singhania. However, unless you know the sequence of history, वो पढ़ना मुश्किल रहेगा. इसलिए मैं बोलूंगा you first read old NCERT by R.S. Sharma and Satish Chandra for ancient and medieval, then only go for the book by Nitin Singhania as far as Indian culture is concerned. So these books are enough. इसके बाद भी और बुक्स चाहिए तो वो बात अलग है, वो हम बता देंगे, लेकिन you first complete reading of these books and then only you go for other books. Are you getting this? So I'm repeating this again. Old NCERT of ancient, medieval, modern, written respectively by R.S. Sharma, Satish Chandra, and Bipin Chandra. That is the first thing you are supposed to. Second, read NCERT books from 6th to 12th standard of history. Then new NCERT की बात मैं कर रहा था. Then as far as reference books are concerned, for culture Nitin Singhania after this. Then for modern Indian history by B.L. Grover, specifically focusing on Battle of Plassey to Revolt of 57. Then India Struggle for Independence by Bipin Chandra. And then India since independence by Bipin Chandra as far as post-independence history is concerned. Alternatively, you can read India after Gandhi by Ramchandra Guha selectively, but I would suggest these books to all of you. Many people generally ask this question, is spectrum needed? I'll tell you one thing, spectrum is like a note. It's not even a book and very short note. So analytical questions cannot be answered by reading spectrum alone. That's a shortcut. Don't do that. Spectrum can be used for a revision purpose for the prelims, not for the mains. All right, okay. Now, ये सब होने के बाद, after every lecture you will get the class study material. Once we finish a topic, उसका study material मिल जाएगा. Don't worry, okay. And apart from this, I know that history is more about static part. Hardly any current is there in the subject called history. However, you may come across certain news as far as history is concerned. So that forms the current affairs material. The Hindu, the Indian Express generally sometimes give us news about, for example, discovery of a new Harappan civilization का site. लेटेस्ट उसके ऊपर सवाल आ सकता है प्रीलिम में, थोड़ा सा वो करंट, थोड़ा बहुत ज्यादा नहीं है. या फिर कोई नया कोई आर्टिफैक्ट मिला किसी पीरियड से, मौर्य एम्पायर के पीरियड से कोई आर्टिफैक्ट मिला, या फिर कोई स्क्रिप्ट डिसाइफर हो गया, नया इंफॉर्मेशन मिला. सो दैट करंट पार्ट यू मस्ट बी वेरी अटेंटिव एज फार एज न्यूज़पेपर रीडिंग इज कंसर्न. बहुत कीनली वो पढ़ो, कहीं पे भी हिस्ट्री का कुछ दिखा तो ऐड कर लो अपने नोट में. सो दिस इज मोर देन सफिशिएंट एज फार एज सोर्सेस for the study of Indian history are concerned. Okay, now an important thing, what all things we are going to do as part of the lectures on this subject is concerned, or our lectures, the lectures I am going to deliver. In this slide I have given you entire picture of what all things we are going to do. In the first part you can clearly see I have given the approximate number of lectures. Approximately we may require 50 lectures of 2 hours each. This may vary a bit, 5 lectures here and there. Okay. Then within that there is a breakup of those lectures. Kaise? Around 15 to 18 lectures are required for ancient medieval history and culture. As I said, 30% focus would be on this part and 70% focus on modern history. So around 32 to 35 lectures are required for modern history, which will cover both pre-independence and post-independence. So this is what we have planned approximately. Okay, depending on the discussion, depending on your questions, this may little bit vary from 5 lectures or so. Now this is about upcoming lectures in the entire year, so around 50 lectures. Then what is the next lecture? Because before we finish off any lecture, we give you idea of what is the next lecture. So in the next lecture, we will try and understand periodization. ACE किसको बोलते हैं, BCE किसको बोलते हैं, कौन सा period कब आता है. So periodization of Indian history and the outline of Indian history, इसका detailed discussion होगा. Don't worry about it. Okay. Then in a particular week, generally, ये अब thumb rule नहीं कि ऐसे ही होगा. Generally, based on how the schedule of lecture comes, in a particular week, if we get 3 lectures, which we are expecting as far as scheduling is concerned, in a week when we get 3 lectures, we will dedicate 2 lectures to modern history and 1 lecture to ancient and then medieval. Why I'm saying this? Because in the outline you will understand कहाँ पे क्या है, तो मुझे modern शुरू करने में कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगी. And before I start modern, I will give you the idea of decline of Mughal Empire so that you can connect these two things, medieval and ancient. Don't worry about it. So ancient medieval will require less number of lectures. So 1 lecture in a week, 2 lectures for modern history. That is the pattern we will follow. Okay. Now, after completing each lecture, what all things we are going to do. Now, this gives you an idea of different activities we do in lecture, all right, and different activities that you are supposed to do as part of your assignment. Okay, look at that carefully. So the first is class notes with relevant maps and pictures, etc. जैसे हम बोलते हैं कि गांधार आर्ट, तो वो देखेंगे तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है ना. You tend to understand more about it. So relevant pictures and maps will be provided along with the content in the class notes. जब तक ये ऑनलाइन चल रहा है, I will make sure that you get it in PDF format. जब वो ऑफलाइन होगा तो तुमको हार्ड कॉपी मिल जाएगा. डोंट वरी अबाउट इट. ओके, दैट इज वन. अब ये जो क्लास नोट्स है, इसमें दोनों एम्फसाइज होंगे, प्रीलिम एज वेल एज मेंस. ओके, वन सिंगल नोट. देन डिस्कशन ऑन प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन पेपर्स विद मॉडल आंसर्स. ठीक है, प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन पेपर एनालिसिस तुम करोगे, जैसे मैंने बोला है, टेबल बना के. बट 2013 से जितने भी क्वेश्चंस आए हैं किसी भी टॉपिक के ऊपर, वो मैं हर उस टॉपिक के बाद डिस्कस करूंगा विद ए मॉडल आंसर गिवन टू यू. नाउ ऐसा हो भी सकता है कि किसी एक पीरियड पे कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं आए अब तक, तो उसके ऊपर प्रोस्पेक्टिव क्वेश्चंस देंगे. प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड दिस. सो वन पार्ट ऑफ आंसर राइटिंग सेशन इज टू डिस्कस द प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन पेपर्स with the model answers. Other parties will get the assignment on that topic with the prospective questions for practice. And those prospective questions, you are supposed to write those answers before coming for the next lecture. In the next lecture, there would be brief discussion on the answers for those prospective questions along with model answers. And you are expected to compare your written answers with the model answers, and then you can add the points from the model answers, or you can look at what went wrong and likewise. So you don't need to be dependent on the teacher कि हाँ सबमिट कर दे, वापस कब आएगा. ठीक है, जब ये तुम खुद इवेल्युएट करोगे मॉडल आंसर को कंपेयर करके, उसमें अगर कुछ डाउट होगा तो दैट यू कैन डिस्कस विद द concerned faculty member. So this is what we have planned as far as this history part is concerned in upcoming lectures. So please understand this. We are trying to cover up all the aspects. ठीक है, apart from this, you will have extensive test series. ठीक है, मेंस के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से सेक्शनल कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव टेस्ट सीरीज होंगे. डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट. देयर वुड बी अ डेडिकेटेड टेस्ट सीरीज फॉर प्रीलिम्स एज वेल. ठीक है, सो दिस वाज माय एजेंडा टुडे फॉर टुडेज लेक्चर ऑन Indian history. So tomorrow there would be a lecture on world history. Don't worry about it. Okay, in similar fashion. Okay, now is the time for you to ask your queries. However, I will first take up the queries which are asked in the chat room, and then you can really speak to me by unmuting yourself. Wait a minute, I am just going through the questions in the chat room. Okay. Is it that the batch timings will be same throughout the year? Yes, once the slot is decided. See, as far as online lectures are concerned, which is the case right now, we will continue with this slot. Any kind of change would be communicated to you with a prior notice. Don't worry about it. Generally what we do, initially we don't bombard you with 2 lectures. Generally we deliver 1 lecture of 2 hours. Later on there will be 2 lectures in a day, maybe 9 to 11 and then 11:30 to 1:30, or maybe 8 to 10 or 10. It depends, we will discuss with that with you as well regarding this scheduling. Don't worry about that. Can we use R.S. Sharma Ancient India book new edition? I think I have talked about this, Amar. Don't go for the reference books unless you have history as an optional. That will confuse you. So old NCERT is better. Prehistory, as you said, is beyond written records like Stone Age, but we have cave wall painting, is that not regarded as record? It is not record, it is expression. Record या तो written होता है फिर oral होता है, ठीक है. अब वो painting का interpretation कौन करेगा? उनको what was there in their mind read कर सकते हैं क्या? नहीं, लेकिन जो लिखा हुआ होता है वो read कर सकते हैं, ठीक है. Literature जो होता है वो हम read कर सकते हैं, ठीक है. Okay. What is difference between cultural aspect and social aspects? See, social aspect जैसे मैंने बोला कि what type of society is that? Patriarchal society है क्या? तो gender injustice है क्या? ठीक है. Position of women क्या है? What religions are there? Which religion gets more importance? उसका followership क्या है? ठीक है. उसकी philosophy क्या है? ठीक है. Then religion का impact society के ऊपर क्या है? इंडिया में caste system है, तो caste system कब बना? कैसे evolve हुआ? उसके ill impacts क्या थे? ये social aspects है, ठीक है. कॉमनर का लाइफ कैसे था, कॉमन मैन का, ये सोशल एस्पेक्ट्स. कल्चरल एस्पेक्ट जैसे मैंने बोला आर्ट फॉर्म्स, आर्किटेक्चर एंड लिटरेचर, दैट इज कल्चर.
ओके सर.
हाँ सर.
सॉरी फॉर द इंटरप्शन. आपका वीडियो फ्रीज हो चुका है, सो एक बार वीडियो स्टॉप करके फिर से ये कीजिए.
सर मैंने चैट बॉक्स ओपन किया है तो शायद मोबाइल पे
मे बी
हाँ.
देन यू कैन ओपन द चैट बॉक्स इन योर लैपटॉप. So
what I will do, no sir, it is not common. I think I'm seeing different questions here and different there, so
okay.
that's why.
One more.
Yes sir, I can open that in
Yes,
I'm closing chat here.
Yes.
Just a moment.
One more suggestion to all the students. Please raise your hand in front of your camera, so sir will get notification about your hand raise, and he will unmute you, and you can talk with sir directly.
Okay, I'm just finishing off the questions from chat room first. Let's do that. Okay, so I talked about, I think wait, optional history. Yes, we will be conducting optional lectures. Don't worry about it, Nancy. How we get study material regarding NCERT? Can you provide PDF regarding all? Oh, that's, see Amrit, download the NCERT application. It is freely available. All the NCERT books are available on the NCERT application app that you can find in Google's Play Store. That's pretty simple. Is history a good option? History is a good option if you have interest. I have talked about it. I think unless you have interest in a particular subject, you should not choose it as optional. If you are interested, if you have read syllabus carefully of the optional, if you have done the previous year question paper analysis, and then your interest, if it continues, you can choose history. I'm first year student, so from where should I start my UPSC studies? If you're in first year, first read NCERT books. Please, ये general questions क्यों आ रहे हैं? I would suggest you to listen webinars which are there on YouTube. So please listen those webinars. Let us not repeat those questions. Batch का time इसमें नहीं डालेंगे हम, है ना? Webinar पे ये जो basic questions हैं इन सब के answers दिए हैं. So please listen webinars carefully. What if our optional is also history? Then how deep we have to read? Satish, optional history has a different kind of focus. वहाँ पे you need to study all the aspects with equal emphasis, whether it is ancient, medieval, or modern. So in ancient history, you need to in detail study the political history, administrative history, everything. ठीक है, उसका थोड़ा सा एक अलग, और sources of history भी पढ़ने पड़ते हैं. मैपिंग पे भी सवाल होता है, तो अलग एक उसका ट्रीटमेंट है जो हिस्ट्री के सेमिनार में बताया जाएगा ऑप्शनल के. Could you talk about what is difference in India struggle for independence book? Is it okay if we stick to Grover only? हाँ, that is fine. If you stick to Grover, Herschel, that is also fine. But Bipin Chandra का जो analysis है, analytical part, that really equips you to deal with the analytical questions which come in mains. So I would suggest कि पहले Grover complete कर लो, उसके बाद time मिला तो फिर you can read Bipin Chandra. Is this batch going to continue online also along with offline after COVID? Yes, that is the plan, Devang. The plan is to continue the online as well. मतलब अब ये तो मैं घर से बात कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन जब क्लासरूम में शिफ्ट हो जाएंगे तो क्लासरूम में जो भी चल रहा है वो तुमको मिल जाएगा घर पे. On if once you have username and password, you can see that from the home as well. If you are not in Pune, don't worry about it. We are going to continue both online and offline. From which source can we solve section and subject-wise MCQs? I think I have talked about sources, Sukhda, already. Earlier, we were told that there will be seminars regarding choosing our optional subjects. So when are they scheduled? Mostly in the second half of June, Radhika, we will conduct seminars on all the optional subjects that are available in the Unique Academy. Don't worry. when we have to start answer writing after completing NCERT. I think Poonam, I have talked about this. Answer writing has to begin once you have completed your uh, first reading and note making. I think I have talked about it. Okay. So let's look at. Okay, Harshil sir. Okay, what I'm doing is I am.
Hello
सर
sir.
क्वेश्चन विचारायचं होतं.
Hello sir.
Yes,
Hello,
go
sir.
ahead. One after the other. One after the other. Yes.
Hello sir.
Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Can I proceed myself in Marathi?
Yes, you can. You can.
सर मी बऱ्याचशा टॉपर करून असं ऐकलं की नितीन सिंघानियाचं कॉस्ट बेनिफिट अनालिसिस हे खूप कमी आहे, ते बुक खूप बल्की आहे, बट त्या तुलनेत आन्सर सॉल्व्ह नाही होत. तर मग हे बरोबर आहे, म्हणजे हे बरोबर आहे की अजून सोर्सेस आहेत कल्चरसाठी?
कसं आहे बाळा की तुम्ही आधी ते एनसीआरटी वाचायला पाहिजे. ठीक आहे. एनसीआरटी मध्ये बरंच तुम्हाला ते ऍडिशन मिळून जाईल. ठीक आहे. आणि तुम्हाला नितीन सिंघानिया कडून थोडंसं एक आउटलाईन मिळेल की कल्चरमध्ये काय वाचायचंय, आणि त्याच्यानंतर काही वेबसाईट सुद्धा आहेत. पण मग तुम्हाला एकदाच कन्फ्युज करायचं नाहीये मला. ठीक आहे. तर कल्चरसाठी काही वेबसाईट सुद्धा आहेत, सांगतो ना मी. ग्रॅज्युअली एकाच दिवशी बंबार्ड केलं ना तरी कन्फ्युज होतो म्हणजे तुम्ही. त्यामुळे आपण ते ग्रॅज्युअली जाऊया. आता जे सांगितलं तेवढं करूया आपण. त्याच्यानंतर फाईन ट्युनिंग ज्याला म्हणतो आपण, दॅट विल हॅपन, डोंट वरी. I saw a question in the chat room that I said that novels and.
Hello, sir. I am Amol. Hello. 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 Hello.
You can go ahead and ask the question.
Sir, instead of reading NCERTs, my understanding is like if I watch the videos, I can understand. So as far as the understanding is concerned, what do you suggest that after watching the videos, reading is beneficial, or just if I watch the videos, it is beneficial for understanding?
Reading is always beneficial. There is no person in the world who can tell you everything. समझ में आ रहा है? तो ये तो मतलब ईगो हो गया ना किसी का कि जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ उतना ही करो. ठीक है, don't do that. हाँ, don't do that. What I'm saying is, reading has no option. Reading has no option. और माइक्रो नोट बनाया पड़ेगा. Wait, I'm answering one question. So please don't skip reading. Please don't skip reading. Okay. Yes,
sir,
next question.
If my preference is like first watching videos because I'll understand from it. Okay. After that, after understanding, I have to read the static parts. So after understanding, reading the NCERT. So this order, what do you suggest for this? Because
that's fine.
Reading. Yeah.
That's fine. See, NCERT का basic पढ़ लो, फिर वो lecture attend करो, और उसके बाद फिर reference book पढ़ लो. That's fine. Fair enough.
No, sir. First watching videos, then reading NCERTs, and after that the reference books. That's
fine. I mean, whichever way you're comfortable, but reading has to be there.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Because,
Hello,
sir. Just a second.
There are others as well. I think I have answered your question.
Okay.
So please answer the questions to the chat box.
Let us not be in a hurry. Let us not be in a hurry. अब ये साल भर चलने वाला है, हम सब होंगे साथ में. Don't worry. हाँ. Next.
Hello, sir. Please answer the questions to the chat box. Hello, sir.
Okay. I will do that. हाँ, बोलो.
सर स्टार्टिंगला एनसीईआरटी वाचताना इंग्लिश प्रॉब्लेम येतील, मग ते जे पाठ वर्ड असतील ते पाठ केले तरी चालतील ना, नंतर प्रॉब्लेम येणार नाही ना?
बघ, शब्द तर पाठ करायला लागतील आपल्याला, आणि शब्द वापरायला पण लागतील आपल्या आन्सर्स मध्ये नंतर. जोपर्यंत शब्द वापरत नाहीस तोपर्यंत तुझे होत नाहीत, पण शब्दाचा अर्थ पुस्तकात कोपऱ्यात ठेवायचा. म्हणजे पुढच्या वेळेस वाचताना त्रास होत नाही. ठीक आहे.
Hello.
हा हा
Hello. Good morning, sir. Myself Taj Chavan. This year I have appeared for 12th board exam, and as I'm planning for giving a BA in mass communication and journalism, is that a plus point for UPSC as I'm planning for backup?
See, whatever your graduation, उसका थोड़ा बहुत फायदा होता है, no doubt about it. But you are supposed to study this dedicatedly. कोई भी ग्रेजुएशन हो, उसको थोड़ा बहुत फायदा होता है, नो डाउट अबाउट इट. ठीक है, मास कम्युनिकेशन का भी थोड़ा बहुत फायदा कहीं ना कहीं होगा, लेकिन आई वुड से कि इसका अपना एक डेडिकेटेड स्टडी अलग से होना चाहिए. ओके, सो अगेन लेट अस नॉट गो फॉर जनरल क्वेश्चंस, प्लीज आस्क क्वेश्चंस ऑन हिस्ट्री. ठीक है.
Sir,
हाँ
Hello.
Hi, sir.
hello.
yes
Hello.
May I speak?
yes you can speak.
Sir, due to coronavirus, we are not able to access a hard copy of newspaper. So, is it okay if we follow any online analysis?
Don't see, analysis is one thing, but read the paper on your own. Online papers are available.
Yes, sir,
Analysis
but
क्या होता है फिर से
it is very
analysis,
energy consuming.
but see, time has to be given. 90 minutes time has to be given for paper reading. हमेशा दूसरे का एनालिसिस मत लो, तो अपने ओपिनियन कैसे बनाओगे? ये प्रोसेस है, उसको शॉर्टकट्स फाइंड मत करो. दैट इज द सिंसियर रिक्वेस्ट. फिर बाद में आओगे मेंस के पहले, सर मैं ओपिनियन कैसे दूं अपना. प्रोसेस स्किप मत करो. एनालिसिस विल हेल्प यू, बट इट्स बेटर टू रीड पेपर ऑन योर ओन. दैट इज आवर सजेशन.
Okay, if I read over editorials online and rest of the things analysis.
That's right. Editorial and articles are to be read on your own, and rest news analysis you can do that by watching a video or जो monthly booklet मिलते हैं.
Hello, yeah, sir. Editorials from Hindu and Indian Express I can read online, and rest of the news analysis like current affairs.
See, ये सारी चीजें वेबिनार पे डिस्कस की गई हैं. करंट अफेयर्स का पढ़ाई कैसे करना है, इसके लिए डेडिकेटेड वेबिनार है जवाद काजी सर का. प्लीज वॉच दैट.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hi, sir.
Yes.
So there are some unanswered queries in the chat box.
I'm looking at it. I thought people are speaking,
Hi,
so I should not prevent them speaking right now.
Hi, sir.
Yes, I could see some questions here. I'm going in a reverse manner. नीचे जो है पहले वो लेता हूँ. ठीक है. We start making notes while reading NCERT. I have answered this, Pranjal. Notes making has to be done after reading all the books at least once. जीसी लियोंग के ऊपर जो भी आंसर होगा वो ज्योग्राफी के सेशन में मिलेगा, यहाँ पे नहीं. ठीक है. I should not waste this year. Should use it very wisely. Yes, all the time available with you is to be read. Bipin Chandra, Modern India. I think Penguin publication का है. Check कर लो. You said that novel drama could not be the authentic source of history, but literature we study in dramas of various poets, writers. See, Rutvik, literature is to be studied as literature. जैसे कालिदास का literature है, हाँ, अभिज्ञान शकुंतलम. तो शकुंतला हिस्टोरिकल फिगर ऐसा नहीं बोल सकते, लेकिन उसका सब्जेक्ट मैटर पता होना चाहिए. So novel and drama should be studied as a drama, not as a history. History का एक literature part है. ठीक है? Okay.
Hi, sir.
एक second. I have started with NCERTs now, so can you give any more suggestions that what should be done in this time? Again, I think I have talked about this, Shipra. I have talked about different books that you can really read apart from NCERT. Old NCERT with AL Basham and Spectrum for modern history is sufficient. If that is your opinion, Akshay, you can go ahead with that. You said that novel and drama, I think I have answered this. What is political philosophy in modern history of the world? I think those are mentioned. Capitalism, socialism, communism. ये सब मैं discuss करूँगा later on.
Hi,
Hello,
sir.
sir.
एक second. Paper 2 का पहले lecture होगा. IR का lecture अलग से बाद में होगा. Don't worry about it. Can we chronologically study Indian history events as they are vast? Yes, you can study chronologically. I'm going to do that for you. Don't worry.
Hi, sir.
Sir, how good are Tamil Nadu books as compared to the NCERT books? As many toppers
Read NCERT first. Read NCERT first, and then additional read के लिए Tamil Nadu books पढ़ सकते हो. Those are also good. Not to worry.
Hello, sir.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, as there is unique material available to us, one may think that there's no need to go for books like Grover or Chandra. So please throw some light on this.
I think I have talked about this. Why are we repeating this question? I said that Grover will help you in terms of the period from 1757 to 1857. ठीक है. But उसके बाद का जो है उसके लिए तुमको थोड़ा सा ये पढ़ना पड़ेगा. बिपिन चंद्र या फिर ग्रोवर का भी पार्ट आगे का है. ठीक है.
Hello, sir.
क्वेश्चन ऑन डीके ऑफ मुगल एम्पायर। डीके ऑफ मुगल एम्पायर पे क्वेश्चन यहाँ पे आना मुश्किल है, लेकिन इस पे आ सकता है कि लेटर मुगल पीरियड में ऐसी कौन सी कंडीशंस थी जिसकी वजह से ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट यहाँ पे फॉर्म हो गया, या फिर कंपनी का रूल यहाँ पे आ गया, इस तरह क्वेश्चन आ सकता है। यस, गो अहेड।
हेलो 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 सर।
हाँ हाँ हाँ
I am audible, sir.
सर आय एम अमोल.
ओके.
सर मला हे विचारायचं होतं की बरेच जण म्हणतात की ओल्ड एनसीईआरटी वाचलं तर सफिशियंट आहे, तर ते बरोबर आहे की कसं? मग
ओल्ड एनसीईआरटी काय?
ओल्ड एनसीईआरटी, नुसतं ओल्ड एनसीईआरटी वाचलं तर सफिशियंट आहे?
हो, अरे पण कल्चर त्यातून होत नाही ना. आता कोणीतरी बोललेलं ऐकलंस का तू, की नितीन सिंगाने वाचून सुद्धा कल्चर पूर्णपणे कव्हर होत नाही, तर त्यामुळे तेही वाचायचे आणि थोडी इतर पुस्तकही वाचायची. म्हणजे
नाही, न्यू एनसीईआरटी पण वाचावी लागतील का? मग सफिशियंट आहे का ओल्ड एनसीईआरटी?
न्यू एनसीईआरटी सुद्धा वाचायचे. मी सांगितलेलं आहे, रिपीट का करतोय आपण? हे सोर्सेस मध्ये बोललोय मी, ओल्ड एनसीईआरटी मग न्यू एनसीईआरटी. एक सेकंड थोडं थांबा तुम्ही. वेट. रेज योर हँड्स. आय एम कॉलिंग सिक्वेन्शियली. हर्षल फर्स्ट. हर्षल दुंदे.
नमस्ते सर.
हाँ बोला.
सर आपने जो बुक लिस्ट दी है ना हिस्ट्री का सब्जेक्ट स्टडी करने के लिए, वो परफेक्ट है, लेकिन ऑल इंडिया रैंक 2 जो थे अनु कुमारी मैम, तो अनु कुमारी मैम का वीडियो मैंने यूट्यूब पे देखा था, तो मैम ने सिर्फ स्पेक्ट्रम नाम का जो बुक है वो रेफर किया था, तो और कल्चर के लिए जो 11 की एनसीईआरटी है वो रेफर किए थे, तो इतना सफिशिएंट है क्या? और इससे अलग आर एस शर्मा।
देख हर्षल, क्या है कि क्या होता है कि इन अ पर्टिकुलर ईयर, अब ये कौन सी ईयर की टॉपर है मुझे नहीं पता, हो सकता है कि उस साल शी कुड टैकल द क्वेश्चंस, बट इफ यू लुक एट ऑल द ईयर्स, हाँ, तो एक काम करो हर्षल, व्हाट आई वुड सजेस्ट इज स्पेक्ट्रम पढ़ लो और 13 से लेकर 19 तक जितने क्वेश्चंस है उनको सॉल्व करने की कोशिश करो, तब समझोगे मैंने क्या बोला है एग्जैक्टली. ठीक है? ओके. ऐश्वर्या सुतार.
हेलो सर.
ऐश्वर्या सुतार, प्लीज रेज योर हैंड्स. आई विल टेक अप इन सीक्वेंस. हाँ. ऐश्वर्या तुझा आवाज येत नाही व्यवस्थित. रेंज मध्ये ये ऐश्वर्या.
मला हे विचारायचं होतं की स्पेक्ट्रमला एक स्टँडर्ड नोट कन्सिडर करून बाकीचे रेफरन्स वाचून त्याच्यामध्ये आपण ऍड केले तर.
हा, ते करू शकता तुम्ही. स्पेक्ट्रमला तुम्ही एक नोट कन्सिडर करून इतर पुस्तकातून ऍड करू शकता. येस, दॅट यू कॅन डू. बरोबर आहे. अली, हु इज अली?
हाय सर.
हाँ बोलो अली.
Hello.
हाँ
Sir, my name is
Ali. हाँ.
This is Aisha, sir. This is my husband's number. That's why the name.
Oh, okay. Aisha, you can talk. Okay. हाँ.
Yes. I have 2 questions, sir.
Okay.
The first thing is that I have analyzed question papers from 2014 to 2019. What I have
Okay.
realized that the questions they are asking on ancient and medieval history only when the some part is in news only. Otherwise, there were no questions. What I have
It depends. See, that is there always in UPSC. If there is some reference in the newspaper, but are we supposed to wait for that? The answer is no. You should know history in brief, okay, and then you can really connect with that. Suddenly नहीं कर सकते ना. So better to read entire history.
In mains, I am talking because in prelims there are questions, but in mains I have because that Gandhara art question that was in news. That's why they ask.
That's fine. Let UPSC decide how to ask the questions. For example, there was a question on Krishna Deva Rai.
Yes.
इसका कौन सा न्यूज ढूंढेंगे हम? ठीक है, डिफिकल्ट है. इसलिए अच्छा है कि हिस्ट्री पढ़ ले. या फिर महाताराज के ऊपर सवाल था, तो महाताराज कहाँ रेफरेंस में आया था? बेटर टू रीड द हिस्ट्री. ओके.
And the second question is that I have read NCRTs and even the Bipin Chandra book and all those. And for modern history, I'm talking about that what I have realized that after reading Bipin Chandra and all those books, the spectrum is it's like a short and note kind of.
I think I have talked about that, Aisha. I have talked about it. Spectrum is like a note. And that won't be sufficient. And how you can check this? मैं बोल रहा हूँ इसलिए नहीं. What you can do is spectrum पढ़ो एक बार और जो भी आज तक के questions है that you can try to solve. Then you will understand what I'm trying to say.
So after reading reference book, I can go for the.
Yes, as a revision you can do that. Amrita, please
Hi,
restart
sir.
it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, sir.
Amrita? Yes, go ahead.
Hi, sir. My name is Suyash Kambe, and I'm from Mumbai. I'm in my last year of engineering.
Yes.
Yes, I wanted to ask about my preparation. So, I have started my preparation from the March, and I have read NCERT till 10th of history.
Restart
And
it
what
again. Yes, I'm listening to you. Please go ahead.
and what I do is that I read NCERT thoroughly, full, and underline the important part in a first reading. And when I'm reading it second time, I understand that part and note down. I mean, I make the note when I read it second time. Sir, I wanted to ask that, and the notes that which I make are like for NCERT, which is 175 pages. I make 60 pages of notes. Is that sufficient? Means,
see,
am I
how
doing
many
it right?
pages? How many pages is not the question. What is important as far as notes is concerned is it should be micro notes. Means you should be able to reduce the reading. That is important.
Yes.
How many pages depends on your style of writing.
Okay, sir. That is, and the other question is, how should I continue after this in my preparation? Because I am in like most of the NCTs I have read till 10th standard, and I'm in history. I have made notes till the 9th standard. Sir. Currently, I'm making notes on French Revolution.
Then complete the rest of the NCERTs first. That is the basic thing you are supposed to do. Then you can really go for other subjects. All right.
Okay, sir.
So
I think that was Abhay, right?
Huh? Oh,
that was Abhay, right?
No, sir. It was Suyash. I'm Suyash.
Sir, hello.
Please don't jump in. Let's raise the hand. There are people who are waiting in the.
Hello, sir.
Raising the hand. No. Wait. Let Abhay speak first. Abhay पाहिजे.
सर मला असं बोलायचंय की पहिली ते 10वी माझं मराठीतनं झालंय पण आता डायरेक्ट एनसीईआरटी वाचताना ते जे मेन वर्ड्स आहेत मग ते डिफिकल्टी येणारच ना सर वाचताना.
If you are preferring for English medium for this examination, you have to increase your vocabulary by reading NCERTs.
Okay, sir.
Abhay, there is no option. Otherwise, you may go for Marathi medium as well. Okay. Aishwarya Bua.
Yes,
Aishwarya,
sir.
you there? Yes. What's your?
You told that with reference to India, the history is what, prehistory is what, and proto-history is what. So, with reference to word, what is history and what is proto-history and what is prehistory?
As far as no, it's same. It's same. Point is, world history. You don't have one single criteria. Like in India, we found the record in Harappan civilization. In Middle East, you find the record in Mesopotamian civilization. Are you getting this? So हर जगह पे अलग अलग होगा. Please mute your mic. Please mute your mics. In different places, it will be different. Aishwarya.
Okay,
got your answer? Okay. Rushikesh Yadav.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, Rushikesh.
Sir, you mentioned references for modern Indian history. For post-independence consolidation, you mentioned India's independence by Bipin Chandra.
Yes.
But sir, it covers till mostly it is 2014 or 15.
Yes.
And, you said for post-independence consolidation, you need to study till 70s or 80s.
See. Read that book. Wait. I got you. I got your question. Read that book. That will bring you up to the present times, which can be discussed in polity and other subjects in current affairs. That is what I said.
Okay, sir. And sir,
because
about
UPSC ki syllabus में mention किया है रे consolidation and reorganization. That's why I focused on that.
Okay, sir. And sir, about ancient history, you mentioned only R.S. Sharma book. So no reference is needed for no reference books needed for other syllabus. Like only
See, ancient and medieval का political history के ऊपर नहीं है रे focus UPSC का. इसलिए मैंने बोला कि उतना पढ़ लो और culture का कोई book पढ़ लो. That should be enough.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
I think Rushikesh is done. Aditya.
Sir, our topper's video is misleading to some extent.
Pardon?
So our topper's video is misleading to some extent.
Is that Aditya?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm Aditya.
Aditya, I'll tell you one thing. That's really good question. Sometimes it is. Sometimes क्या होता है कि after getting through this examination, कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ा सा ऐसे होता है ना कि हाँ मैंने ये किया और बहुत कम समय में किया, ये बोल जाता है इंसान, उनकी गलती नहीं है पूरी तरह से, ठीक है. एंड अगेन क्या होता है कि कभी कभी एक आध इंसान छूट जाता है, रे कम पढ़ के भी छूट जाता है, वो हो सकता है, दैट इज पॉसिबल. तो हमको बाय चांस नहीं होना है ना. सो दैट्स व्हाई हम जब बोलते हैं तो पूरा बोल देते हैं. यहाँ पे ऐसे नहीं कर सकते हाँ इतना पढ़ो हो जाएगा तुम्हारा. आई वोंट से दैट. सो वी हैव टू बी कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव हियर. वी शुड नॉट लीव एनीथिंग टू चांस. यस यू आर राइट टू सम एक्सटेंट, पूरा नहीं, टू सम एक्सटेंट.
So one more question, sir.
Yeah, Aditya, you have another question?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So how many hours are we supposed to invest from at the start of the preparation?
No. There is no specific time slot. But so if you are beginning, start with 5 hours, 6 hours a day. Increase that to 10 to 12 hours a day at some point of time.
So gradually increase it. Okay.
If you are doing your graduation,
Yes, sir.
whatever time is available to you, you dedicate to the UPSC studies. I am requesting all others to mute their mic. और ये क्लासरूम में भी होता है, बाकी सब बातें करने लगते हैं, तो ये प्लीज बंद कर दो अपने माइक्स, बाकी लोगों को डिस्टर्ब हो रहा है. नाउ शुभम यादव.
Hello.
Shubham, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Is that Shubham?
Yes, sir.
Yes, go ahead, Shubham.
Sir, my optional subject is political science, and while studying, just mentioned that political aspect is also there in history. So can we relate it with political science while studying?
Not fully, but to some extent. जैसे पेपर 1 में पॉलिटिकल साइंस के एंशिएंट इंडियन पॉलिटिकल थॉट है, ठीक है. सो आवर हिस्ट्री लेक्चर्स ऑफ एंशिएंट विल हेल्प यू देयर, बट दैट इज अ डिफरेंट थिंग. वो वहां पे फिलोसफी होता है पूरा पॉलिटिकल साइंस का, ठीक है. दैट इज वन. सेकंड, इंडियन नेशनल मूवमेंट का पॉलिटिकल फिलोसफी पूछा है, इवेंट नहीं. कहाँ पे? ऑप्शनल में.
ओके.
तो हिस्टोरिकल कुछ चीजों के पॉलिटिकल एस्पेक्ट्स पूछे गए हैं, इसीलिए तूने सही सवाल पूछा. हर सब्जेक्ट का कहीं ना कहीं फायदा होता है दूसरे सब्जेक्ट में. दैट्स व्हाई मैंने जो वेबिनार लिया था उसमें बोला था इंटीग्रेटेड स्टडी. एक सब्जेक्ट का यूज दूसरे सब्जेक्ट में, ये करना ही पड़ेगा, हो जाएगा ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, ठीक है. नेक्स्ट, दीक्षा जादव.
Sir,
यस दीक्षा.
so why we need to study history for UPSC? What is the significant in present, and how can we link history in present? So can you?
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I'll give you an example. Where are you from, Diksha?
Sir, I'm from Mumbai.
Diksha, do you know Sangli and Miraj?
Yes, sir. I heard.
तो मिरज में सपोज यू आर डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर देयर, और मिरज में कम्युनल वायलेंस ब्रेकआउट हुआ था.
Yes, sir.
तो एक गणपति फेस्टिवल में किसी ने शिवाजी महाराज अफजल खान को मार रहे हैं, इस तरह का एक पोस्टर लगाया था.
हाँ,
उसके ऊपर कम्युनल वायलेंस हो गया. हाउ विल यू हैंडल इट इफ यू डोंट नो who those people were, or if you don't know the history of India?
Yes, sir.
Simple thing, very simple thing. Number 1. Number 2, in India there are many ancient monuments.
Yeah.
जिसके प्रिजर्वेशन के लिए इंडिया, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का पॉलिसी है. Unless you understand what is the significance of those ancient monuments, how would you preserve them while implementing the policy of government of India? Or for that matter, we have different schemes for tourism, which covers many historical places. So you can implement the policy of the government of India only when you know your own district. Number 1. Number 2, being in the government, being in the administration, you are going to be the representative of India. And don't you think the representative of Indian government should know at least something about India?
Yes, sir. We should.
Yes. Okay. Abhay Paigude. Okay. Abhay Paigude.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Abhay.
What is flow of books reading, sir?
What is
Flow of books reading? First read NCERT, then, sir.
No, somehow your voice is not clear. I'm not getting your question completely, Abhay.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
कोणाचं तरी माईक चालू आहे, सर. माझ्या नाही.
काय करणार, मी सांगितलं मी सगळ्यांना. हर्षल सर, you there?
Hello, sir. What is the flow of books reading, sir? First read NCERT, then.
बुक्सच्या रिडिंगचं सिक्वेन्स विचारतोस का तू?
हो सर.
हा मी सांगितलं ओल्ड एनसीआरटी आधी, त्याच्यामध्ये एन्शियंट मिडिवल मॉडर्न, आर एस शर्मा, सतीश चंद्र, बिपिन चंद्र. ते झालं की मग न्यू एनसीआरटी आणि मग मॉडर्न हिस्ट्रीचे रेफरन्स बुक्स, त्याच्यामध्ये ग्रोवर आणि बिपिन चंद्र, जसं मी सांगितलं होतं तसं. ठीक आहे. ओके. संदीप राठोड.
Yes, sir.
Your video is
Yes, sir, I'm audible. Sir, my question is that you have already told that means how to study of the history subject, but sir, how to means how much time we should spend on history
Sandeep, wait a
subject?
minute. Sandeep, wait a minute. Let me see if I can mute all of you, and then you can unmute yourself. Give me a minute.
Okay, sir. Okay.
I will do it, sir. I will do it.
Please do it, sir.
So you are also mute now. Please unmute yourself.
Sandeep, please unmute yourself and then speak.
Yes, sir. Sir, you have already told that how to study of the history subject, but I have a question about how to how much time we should spend on history subject, and as well as which means which topic we should read first, like the ancient history and medieval and like this. So which topic we should take first?
See, it's good to go by sequence, ancient, medieval, and then modern. Okay. But in the lectures, because modern has more weightage, we will start modern history simultaneously in the lectures. But as I said, first read ancient, medieval, modern in sequence, old NCRT. I'm repeating that sequence. Then read new NCRT, and then modern ke reference books.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think I have taken up the questions of all those who raised their hand. Now, even if anybody wants to ask questions directly, you can ask.
Yeah, sir, I have a small question.
Oh, please, can you please speak a bit louder?
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me, sir? Am I audible?
Yes, yes. Yes,
Yeah,
I
good
can hear you.
Actually, the thing is, I'm working full time right now in Pune for a company named Forbes Marshall. So along with that, I have to manage the UPSC preparation, and I'm planning to appear in the year 2021 next year. So how do I manage that? So 2021 next year, sir.
Okay.
So,
That is very aggressive target. That is very aggressive target, and that too you're working. So I would suggest
supply chain. So the job is quite hectic. I'm into supply chain procurement. So that the job is quite hectic, and the workload is too much, and it is too tedious. So it has become very difficult for me to manage. So how do I go
in that case, go for a long-term plan. You cannot target 2021. Go for a long-term plan. Study for a couple of years by taking out whatever time you can really manage, and then think of the appearing of examination. Till then, let us not be in a hurry. Okay, I think there is a hand raised by Nancy. You can go ahead.
Hello?
Is Nancy there?
Hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Sir, how much time to be specifically given to complete old NCRT's new and the reference books?
Nancy, that's a very personal response type of a question. It depends on your reading speed. All right, but generally what we see based on your reading speed as early as possible, because basics books बहुत जल्दी हो जाने चाहिए. So based on your reading speed, complete that. And again, because we are saying as early as possible, you should not read it like for finishing. No, the objective has to be to understand the basic concepts. So let it take its own time, no problem. And accordingly, based on your reading speed, you can plan other things.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
I think next is Nachiket.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, actually, my optional subject is mathematics, and it is actually a very vast subject. So I almost like if I have the unique lectures, including that and my optional, I have lectures for almost 5 hours a day.
Okay.
So how do I distribute my time in my optional and my general studies? Sir, can you just tell me?
Nachiket, you already have optional as mathematics, you are saying, and you have already joined mathematics classes somewhere.
Yes, sir. I have.
What is the time slot for that?
That is the afternoon slot, sir.
Oh, then it's perfectly all right. Like in the morning you can do these lectures, and then in the afternoon you can do that.
Yes, sir. That is regarding the lectures, sir. So can you just tell me that what time slot can I distribute for my self-study on the general studies, sir?
See, that's the reason. That's the reason I generally say that 1.5 year prior to your filling of application form, that much study is required. So what happens? We consume our time in the classroom lectures as well, which is again essential. So classroom खत्म होने के बाद कम से कम तुम्हारे पास 6-8 महीने होने चाहिए एग्जाम के पहले. That is how you should plan.
Okay. Yes, sir.
But in this case, what you can do is whatever time is available, you should dedicate for the self study. So, for example, if your time 9 to 11 is going here, so early in the morning 7 to 9 you can really study, and you can then immediately join the webinar. And after 11, if you don't have questions, you can immediately skip and you can start your self study. So likewise, you have to use your time judiciously, and when there are no lectures, maybe on Sunday, utilize complete time.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. I think next is Suyash Tambe.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask that I'm making notes on 9th NCRT. So the first topic is French Revolution. Sir, that the same topic has come into the different book that we are studying, reference book. So how should we make notes on that?
I think I have talked about this already, that you first read the basic books like NCRT, then select one book as standard book, read that topic from the standard book twice, prepare a note from only one standard book with leaving some space in between after completion of each subtopic. इंट्रोडक्शन कंप्लीट हुआ, जगह छोड़ दो, नेक्स्ट टॉपिक. वो कंप्लीट होने के बाद सॉरी दूसरा बुक ले लो, उसमें जो नए पॉइंट्स है वो ऐड कर सकते हो. आई थिंक आई हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट दिस इन द लेक्चर.
Okay, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask one another question.
Pardon?
Sir, I wanted to ask a question about if my preparation is going right or not. That I read one NCRT completely, and in the first reading I underline the important topics. Important topics means the notes which I have to make. In second reading, I generally what I do is concise that underlined part and make notes on it. And in the third reading, I check whether I have missed anything. Is it a right strategy?
That's fine. That's perfectly all right. But at least 2 readings are required before you make notes.
Okay, sir. I'm doing 3 readings, and currently I'm on my second reading.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine.
Thank you.
Next is Shruti Patil. You can go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Yes, Shruti.
After this pandemic, hello.
I'm listening.
Hello.
I'm
Okay, sir.
listening.
After this pandemic, if we choose offline mode of class, what changes will be occur with reference to faculties?
No. Faculties are going to be same. There is no change at all. There is no change at all.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
I think next is Rohan Ullah Khan.
Hi, sir.
Yes, Rohan.
Sir, I am a mechanical engineering graduate, and I will be appearing for UPSC in 2021, sir.
Okay.
Sir, along with this, I will be seeking admission in MBA, sir. So, can you please help me with a time management schedule, sir?
Rohan, are you working as well?
No, sir. I am not currently working anywhere.
Okay. So there is too many things on a plate. See, I'll tell you one thing, Rohan. I don't want to really scare you, but please understand this is the toughest examination.
Yes, sir.
In
Yes,
India.
sir.
It requires a complete dedication. And
Yes,
again,
sir.
MBA, CAT examination is equally difficult. So
Yes, sir.
doing 2 things at a time is like, too many cooks spoil the broth.
Yes, sir.
Too many things at a time will not allow you to do anything. So I would say prioritize and
Okay,
accordingly. So if you give 1 year for UPSC, complete
sir.
thorough preparation, and once you are confident enough of this thing, I have studied, now all that I'm supposed to do is to only revise and do the current affairs. Probably you are in a position to go for some other examinations. Till then, remain focused on UPSC.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Then I think after Rohan, Ruchika Suryavanshi.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
I
Ruchika.
want to apply for exam next year, that is 2021. And sir, I am also a final year student. But according to the current situation, they say that we will be having exams in July.
Yeah.
Sir, so how I will be able to access classes later?
No. What is see, if you are appearing for the next year, 2021, right?
Yes, sir.
So you're not supposed to worry about you can either go for the online mode or you can go for the offline mode. Let the exam happen. This year's exam will happen anyway. That will not impact the classroom schedule. This batch is for the next year.
Yes, sir.
So don't worry about it.
So the classes which we will be going on, so my exams will be also simultaneously going on. So I don't want to miss the class.
Oh, okay. Your exams, I thought the UPSC exams you were saying. Brilliant.
No,
Okay.
sir.
What is the schedule of your exams?
So there is no proper timetable for exam,
So
but they say it's July.
What we'll do is let the schedule come and then we can talk about this again. But don't worry, we'll not miss anything.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So upcoming batches are also there, July and August. So if you miss something here, you'll be allowed to sit there.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Let me check who is the next. I think Ruchika spoke. Pradeep.
Hello, sir. My question is that, sir, you have told the sequence of reading the books. Like first we have to read the old NCRT and then read the reference book of Bipin Chandra and then new NCRT. So we have to read the whole book or we have to read the topic wise and then go to the new NCRT topic wise or whole book?
See, first reading whole book as early as possible. Second reading topic wise and then note making.
Okay, yes, sure.
There is a reason behind this. इसके पीछे कारण है रे, ऐसे नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. क्या होता है कि if you take one topic in the first reading itself and focus on that topic only, तो उसका connection बाकी topic से भी होता है.
Okay.
So at that time you'll be a little bit in trouble. So पहला reading एक पूरा होने दो, उसके बाद we can think of other things. After Pradeep, I think Aniket.
Hello.
Aniket.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
सर आता आपले म्हणजे सब्जेक्ट वाईज कसं म्हणजे शिकवतील म्हणजे हिस्ट्री जिओग्राफी आणि कोणते सब्जेक्ट घेतील जेणेकरून आम्हाला त्या पद्धतीनं फर्स्ट रिडिंग साठी त्याचं चालू करायला बरं कारण जर आम्ही आधी थोडंसं वाचलेलं असेल तरच लेक्चर मध्ये ते क्लिअरली आम्ही ग्राफ्स करू शकेल.
आता याचं शेड्यूल जे आहे जेव्हा तुम्ही टेलिग्राम चॅनल जॉईन कराल ना तिकडे तुम्हाला प्रत्येक आठवड्याचं टाइम टेबल भेटेल. ठीक आहे.
ओके.
आता उद्याचं वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्रीचं मी तुम्हाला सांगितलं.
येस.
त्याच्यानंतर पॉलिटी अशा प्रकारे सिक्वेन्स येतो. टेलिग्राम चॅनल जॉईन करा तिकडे तुम्हाला पूर्ण टाइम टेबल मिळून जाईल. डोंट वरी अबाउट इट.
ओके सर.
ओके
फाइन. थैंक यू.
आई थिंक नेक्स्ट इज अनिकेत हो गया ना. साक्षी राहुलकर.
हॅलो सर.
येस साक्षी.
सर मला असं विचारायचं होतं की मी आता सध्या सेकंड इयरला आहे म्हणजे आता माझं फर्स्ट इयर कम्प्लीट झालंय तर मग मी ही इंटिग्रेटेड बॅच जॉईन करावी की फाउंडेशन कोर्स कारण की मी 2022 मध्ये अपियर करेन एक्झाम.
2022. ओके. तू आता सेकंड इयरला गेलीस की सेकंड इयर पूर्ण झाले काय झालं?
नाही सेकंड इयरला गेलीये मी आता.
ओके म्हणजे थोडे सेकंड इयर आणि थर्ड इयर 2 वर्ष आहेत.
हो.
यू कॅन चूज आयदर ऑफ देम. असं मला असं वाटतं की तू तुझं फर्स्ट इयरला असतेस तर मी तुला सरळ 3 इयर्स म्हणाला असतो म्हणजे. ठीक आहे. आता तू सेकंड इयरला आहेस आणि तुझं ग्रॅज्युएशन 3 वर्षाचं आहे ना?
हो बीएससी करते मी बीएससी इन जिओलॉजी.
हा ठीक आहे म्हणजे तुला जर समजा वेळ असेल आठवडाभर तर तू ही बॅच करावी. वेळ नसेल तर फाउंडेशन बॅच वीकेंडला होते मग ती करू शकतेस.
हा कारण कॉलेजचा टाइम मॅच
2022 म्हणतेस ना तर मग आता हे एक वर्ष 21 ला संपेल दुसरं वर्ष 2022 ला मग 3 इयर्सला तुला 3 वर्ष लागतील ना तर ते पॉसिबलच नाही मग ते 1 इयर
पॉसिबल नाही. मग म्हणजे इंटिग्रेटेड बॅच ह्या वर्षी जॉईन करावी की हीच बॅच सेम मी नेक्स्ट इयर जॉईन करू असं?
तू आत्ताच जॉईन कर. एकदा क्लासेसचं काम संपून जाऊ दे ना म्हणजे तुला पुन्हा एक वर्ष मिळेल पूर्ण तुला अभ्यासाला. येतं लक्षात? विदाउट नीड फॉर गोइंग टू क्लासेस. एकदा क्लासेस होऊन जाऊ देत पूर्ण तुझे आणि मग तुला आणखी एक वर्ष मिळेल. दॅट इज द आयडियल कंडिशन टू हॅव.
पण हे क्लासेस जर रोज असतील तर मग ते कॉलेजच्या टायमिंग सोबत मॅच होणं
मी
थोडंसं.
तुला तेच म्हणत होतो. मग ते कसं करता येईल बघ. तू कॉलेज टायमिंग काय तुझं?
सध्या तरी म्हणजे सकाळचं होतं पण आता सेकंड इयरला दिवसभर असेल म्हणजे 10 ते 5.
ओके. तर त्या केसमध्ये तुला ही बॅच अवघडच जाईल म्हणजे वीकेंडची बॅच करू शकतेस तू. यू कॅन गो फॉर द वीकेंड बॅच.
सेम बॅच असेल वीकेंडला?
काय?
सेम बॅच असेल वीकेंड साठी
वीकेंड साठी पण बॅच आहे आपल्याकडे. ठीक आहे.
ओके.
त्यासाठी यू कॅन कॉन्टॅक्ट प्रवीण पाटील सर.
चालेल.
काय करायचं, युनिकच्या ऑफिशियल नंबरवर फोन करायचा आणि प्रवीण पाटील
हा.
सरांचा नंबर घ्यायचा आणि त्यांना बोलायचं.
चालेल चालेल. ओके, थँक्यू सर.
Okay. Let me check who is the next after Sakshi. I think Abhay.
हॅलो सर.
हा अभय.
सर आता TY ला आहे आणि आमचे पेपर जुलैमध्ये, तर मी जर आता स्टार्टिंग केलं जून मध्ये आणि पेपर कळले जुलैमध्ये, तर सर म्हणजे ते एकदा ह्या गोष्टीवरती कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन झाल्यानंतर परत तिकडे शिरणं म्हणजे खूप अवघड जाईल.
मला वाटतं मी आता बोललोय की एक तर तुम्ही नंतरची बॅच जॉईन करू शकता जुलैमध्ये किंवा ऑगस्टमध्ये बॅच सुरू होते. नसेल तर तुमचे आता मिस झालेले लेक्चर तुम्ही पुढच्या बॅच मध्ये करू शकता. असं करता येईल तुम्हाला. काय
मागे तर पडणार नाही सर?
काय
म्हणजे हे सगळे जे आहेत ते आता जून बॅचला जॉईन होतील आणि आम्ही जुलैला होईल. मग तसं आमचं काही मागे तर पडणार नाही ना? मग
नाही लगेच काय एका महिन्यातून फार मोठा फरक पडतो असं नाही. तुझी अडचण आहे म्हणून करतो ना आपण तसं. असं काही होत नाही, फार मोठा फरक पडत नाही. बॅचेस थोड्याशा एक 15 दिवस किंवा महिन्याभराने उशिरा सुरू होतात, पण मात्र एंड आपण ते सगळ्यांचे बॅचेस एप्रिलमध्येच करतो आणि तशा प्रकारे ते लेक्चर्स ऍडजस्ट केले जातात.
हो सर, पण NCERT मग रीड करायला तरी हे उशीर होईलच.
NCERT तू वाचायला सुरू करू शकतोस ना, त्यासाठी तुला काही लेक्चरची वाट बघायची गरज नाही. NCERT यू कॅन स्टार्ट रीडिंग, असं काही नाही.
ओके सर.
ठीक आहे. लेट मी चेक द नेक्स्ट इन लाइन. I think Abhay हो गया. हाँ, Nancy again. You have one more question, Nancy?
Yes, sir. Sir, all online lectures will be conducted on Zoom platform, right?
Yes.
Sir, then how we will be able to access if any lecture is missed?
See, you'll be given the entire schedule of a week beforehand.
Okay, sir.
So you'll be getting that in your hand on Telegram channel.
Okay.
Which is, there will be official group of Unique, and you will get the entire schedule of a week, so you can easily make out कि तुम्हारा lecture कब है, so you can attend that. Don't worry about it at all. Let me check. Nidhi.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Nidhi.
Sir, actually, I'm from Mumbai, and I'm already a 3-year integration batch. So I took a drop last year because it was my 3rd year. So now, sir, I'm supposed to join this online batch, and in Mumbai after this pandemic is over, so the portion would be continued.
Nidhi, you have completed 1 year, right, in 3 years batch?
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay.
Sir.
So now you are doing your graduation or what? In which year you are right now?
Sir, I'm in 3rd year, and my exams are like not clearly they are supposed to be held in July, but there is no specific timetable. So when they will held.
That's okay. What I would suggest you is you talk to Praveen Chauhan, sir. I think you must be having his number.
No, sir. I'll call him and I'll call the Unique Academy and
Take the 3 years batch. I mean, whose number you have in terms of faculty members?
But I have Bharat sir's number, Vipul sir number.
Okay, so get Praveen Chauhan sir's number from them and talk to Praveen sir in terms of how you can really. He is the one who coordinates 3 years batch.
Okay, sir.
So he will advise you accordingly.
So, but I have a doubt, sir. After this online lecture, so in Mumbai, the offline lectures would be continued from here, or I have to attend online lectures from the Pune branch?
That preference is always there with you. Either you can join there offline, or you can really join these batches online. That preference is always with you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Let me check who is the next. I think we are done with the people who have raised their hands. Let me see if there is anything in chat room, and then probably we can conclude. I am already student of Unique Thane branch. So is there any difference in Pune branch and Thane branch? Poonam, you see, I think faculty members are different there. You can check it out, and wherever you are comfortable, you can continue. You can either continue a physical offline batch in Thane, or you can continue this one. It's your choice. All right. I think we are done with the questions. Harshal sir.
Sir, I have one doubt.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
सर तुम्ही सांगितलं की सिक्वेन्स नुसार NCERT अँड रेफरन्स बुक वाचायचे, पण जर सपोज एन्शियंट वाचत असतं आणि तुम्ही मेडिवलचा एखादा टॉपिक शिकवला तर ते हँड बाय हँड नाही चालणार ना, मग ते मिसलीड होईल.
हे बघ, आता हे प्रत्येक विषयाच्या बाबतीमध्ये होईलच, म्हणजे कारण तुम्ही सगळेच विषय एकदा वाचू शकत नाही. तर आपला जो प्लॅन आहे तो सुरू ठेवायचा आणि क्लासरूम मध्ये ऐकत राहायचं. याचा फायदा कसा होतो मी सांगतोय. जर टॉपिक आधी वाचला असेल तर क्लासरूम मधला जास्त कळेल, क्लासरूम मध्ये आधी ऐकलं असेल तर वाचताना जास्त कळेल. त्यामुळे दोन्हीचा फायदा होतोच. डोंट वरी अबाउट इट. आणि तसंही मी आउटलाईन घेणार आहे डिटेल पुढच्या लेक्चरला. त्याच्यामुळे सगळ्या पिरियड थोडंफार सांगणार आहे मी. सो डोंट वरी अबाउट इट.
ओके सर, ओके, थँक्यू.
ओके. हर्षल सर, I think we are done. Harshal sir, are you there? Pradeep, have you raised your hand?
Yes, sir. Actually, I asked the question and you answered the question.
What is the question?
So actually, I asked the question regarding that NCERT book, that the whole book should be read first and or the
I think we have talked about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Fine. Let me check if. Harshal sir, are you there? I think we need to conclude this session. Thank you all of you for listening patiently, and we'll continue with this batch. Upcoming lecture for tomorrow is a lecture on world history by Jawad Kazi sir.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My question is that, sir, how we can manage the current affairs and the history?
Hey, what type of question is this? I think I have talked about it.
Linkages between history and current affairs.
As somebody talked about it already, that sometimes in newspaper there is some reference to historical event. So
yes,
the moment
sir,
that comes,
only.
you should read that part again.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
हॅलो.
Yes.
सर, तुम्ही सांगितलं की ओल्ड एनसीआरटी वाचून परत न्यू एनसीआरटी वाचायची. तर मग बरेच जण म्हणतात की नुसतं ओल्ड एनसीआरटी सफिशियंट आहे. तर मग त्यासाठी काय ते बरोबर आहे की नाही, कसं?
हे बघ, मला इकडून बोलताना नेहमी तुम्हाला सगळे सोर्सेस सांगावे लागतात. आलं का लक्षात तुझ्या? आता प्रत्येकाचे वेगवेगळे ओपिनियन, म्हणजे 1000 लोकांचे 1000 ओपिनियन आहेत म्हणजे याच्यामध्ये. ठीक आहे. तर असं म्हणेन की ते म्हणतात ना, ऐकावे जनाचे आणि करावे मनाचे. आम्हाला सांगताना सगळे सोर्सेस सांगणं भाग आहे, कारण काही काही बाबी त्या न्यू एनसीआरटी मध्ये ऍडिशनल भेटतात, म्हणून ते वाचणं गरजेचं आहे असं आम्हाला वाटतं.
थँक्यू सर.
ओके. I think we are done with the questions, right? All right, we'll stop here today. So tomorrow you can start with the session on world history. All right, thank you so much.